sensible now. Right, shall we go through it
Yeah.
again, shall we? TSM ban Anubis, yep. 9 Pandas ban Vertigo, yep. And can we get that veto back by
Yeah, I
any
need to see
chance?
the
I want to
maps.
see where it goes.
Because it was like 3 maps that didn't really seem like picks. It was kind of like either of these could be the deciders. There wasn't any like clear picks. It was strange. So I do need to actually see what maps we ended up on again. Okay, so here they're on HLTV. So Inferno, Dust 2, and Mirage are the maps we're going to be working with. And of course, we've already got the action live.
They've started early. They've thrown everyone for a loop, but we are in. We are ready to go.
Glowing, our player to watch.
Picked up by TSM. It's going to be a spicy one. I mean, it's not a great map pick for TSM, you have to say. 9 Pandas, 4-win streak, looked very, very solid in their recent encounters as well. So, not an easy one by any means. And, well, actually, according to HLTV, 9 Pandas picked it up. So, Glowing going to get double naded down by Nico. That's a free B bomb site. And now we are in Inferno Simulator, Dean. This one is going to be a save. Surely. Because 5v4, CT retake, no kit. It's job done, innit?
Yeah, there's not really much to be said about this, I don't think. There's a couple of flashes that are worth saving to bring into this next round alongside the pistols and the Kevlar and whatever they can afford then. For now, though, they're still moving up Banana, hanging around in the spawn as well. Perhaps just hoping to be able to force a couple of deaths. I don't think it's all that worthwhile, though. They are just going to make a move for it in general. Valde already dropped. Altex will be cleared in towards the sandbags. Okay, they just don't really have the time to make this work, though, without the kit in their possession.
Yeah, bomb's too far gone, and I think they're starting to realise that now. It's a really awkward one. Inferno, always such a tough place to be. And, I mean, they've got a hell of a lot of damage off the back of it. You know, 4 kills. Nobody goes down in the process. Yeah, I mean, you are saying, look, we're here to play, but at the same time, it's come out. You would have loved to have seen them have a kit, right? You would have loved to have seen them have something and be in a decent enough position to get something going there. Because if they have a kit, that retake is incredibly viable.
Oh yeah, no, there was. I mean, there would have been a few seconds at least for them to try and clear out that back corner, get one player on the bomb, and hold it off. It would have been very winnable. Just without the kit, it was pretty much impossible. They would have had to have hopped on mid while all the fights were still going on, and well, at that point, it's just you hope and spin for a 10-second defuse. The charge down mid, it is the force buy, of course, coming in, and TSM are not handling it all that well at all. Mac 10 trying to flank out on mid, see if there's any revenge to be had. Valde is here to go ahead and do the first strike. He takes quite a bit of damage in the process, and well, I was gonna say they're still in an awkward position, but they've managed to flip the situation on its head. Glaxonitis Balance are left alone. I'd like to see them just double it up and take the gamble, and that looks to be the call that's been made. Both of them heading over towards A.
Sometimes you just got to make these kind of calls. Hope that you can put your pieces in the right spot, knowing you're a man down. Siphon doing very well on that Mac 10 initially, actually, to bail his teammate out. Catch the second player, push aggressively down mid. As you said, the initial look from TSM, incredibly negative. But able to turn it around with a couple of well-timed kills. Now this one gets a little ugly. iDisbalance is going to try and cover the cross. Oh, Clax caught napping on the angle. I mean, iDisbalance should have an absolute gift here, but he wastes the first shot. Allows Valde to take down his teammate and buys himself a 1v2. Finally, the USP comes to his aid to finish the job. Problem being, again, we're going to see TSM absolutely book it over towards this B-bomb site. Plenty of utility for the T side as well. Can pretty much play this after plant however they please. With 2 HEs, a molly and a flashbang, and iDisbalance still lacking a kit, although he has upgraded to a Galil. This one feels like it should be all but impossible. A well-placed after plant should deal with it. Xiphon just looking for the jump peak, has managed to miss iDisbalance as he just slips the net initially. Starts to work his way through the angles. He can hear Xiphon on that jump peak, but as of yet, not really given the opportunity. And now Xiphon should have seen it, should have known what was up. He's got to stick this, though, iDisbalance. And despite getting that first kill, it's just a little too much for him. He's going to try and tap it again, desperate to bait Altex into the peak, but the Galil of Altex will come out on top. TSM just about skirting their way past that force buy from 9 Pandas and into a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, they're getting these early rounds, but it is a lot closer than they would like for sure. I think 9 Pandas will be a little bit angry about the fact that they weren't able to convert that early advantage, but they did go in with the force buy. They were able to bring it down to a single player left standing. That's after how close they made the pistol round in the end as well, taking all of those kills and forcing the death. So they're keeping themselves in this, I would say, mentally. And a hero rifle being pulled out right now by Shelfie is a very interesting choice. What do you think of this, Wolfie?
It's wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see what he can get done with it, but realistically...
Can't even say miss by anymore.
Yeah, there's no excuse. I mean, they've gone for a full B stack with it. And I think maybe the argument here is that, look, if they come into the B-bomb site, we've got a handful of upgraded pistols. Shalfie can try and get some work done with the M4A1, and maybe we can make this worth our while. If they don't, we just save our rifles. The problem is there's so much more utility for the T side, which, as you see, starts to just flush players out. A couple of quick kills come in. I mean, Shalfie gets nothing. Glowing is doing fantastically well to redeem it. 2 on the P250, but again, I mean, there's no impact out of the M4A1. That P250 could have got those 2 kills without the investment of 2,900. And now for Dilladez, just about how much he can get at the very depth of this. It's an ugly old shot with the Deagle, not going to land. A-Core able to adjust in time. It's a 3-0 start, and I mean, maybe, you know, he wants to drop to an MP9. Maybe he wants to get up close and personal in the apartments, but you've got to say it. This buy would have been so much better if he's got a rifle.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been working with similar utility, I'd imagine, if he had the M4, but still the better weaponry coming into this first gun round after a few close rounds as well. It would have been ideal. Either way, it's not terrible. An MP9 can definitely be utilized well on Inferno. We'll see exactly where he takes it. It is towards B early on. A heavy presence as well, so are they looking to take that banana control is the question. At the very least, throwing down a bit of utility and horning the T is off for a moment. Slowing their advance very slightly. See, Eco, I believe, has still worked his way up close to the half wall, and Nade, though, for Shalfie to push in, works out fantastically, and in the meantime, Dilladez is, I believe, able to take a kill, peeking in down mid, so yeah, very quick 5-on-3, taking 0 damage even, sustained there for 9 Pandas during their endeavors, and well, they've got a strong position to just hold, as you can see now, having fallen back pretty passively on both sides.
Oh, and Klax has crashed, so that's going to make this one a little bit spicy. Does turn it into a 2-2 split but either side of this bomb site, and that could be really, really tough for 9 Pandas. I mean, you can see all 3 players, as expected for TSM, grouped up, this time towards short. They're going to try and execute their way into this A site, and if they can get a couple of quick kills here, this starts to look very ugly. Oltex does well, gets 1, and Dilladez just takes a little too long chewing his food. Valde able to adjust upwards, saves Altex's life. And I mean, if they had Klax alive inside the apartments there, you can still see him on the minimap. If he's up, then this is a very different round. They've got apartments control to work off, a retake 3v3, even if they've lost the 2 site players, feels viable. But instead, I just balance and Shalfie forced to save, and that is really unfortunate after such a promising start to the round.
Hopefully it won't be massive pause, but I would imagine 9 Pandas are going to be okay with the few moments apiece as they wait for their... Oh, Klax is back already, so there won't be a technical pause, I wouldn't imagine now. I wouldn't mind if they go ahead and pull out the tactical at this point, because as you said, that can be a little bit tilted. That round looked like it probably should have been theirs. They had a fantastic 5-on-3 advantage. Then instead, they're sitting with a disadvantage on whichever bomb site they hit went towards. It was a 3-on-2, and well, TSM are able to overpower them and extend this lead 4-0. I do hope they take a pause for a moment there.
The worst bit is it's probably the one map in the pool where they can't convert a 4v3 easily, CT side,
Yeah.
right? Every other map you'd back them to. You play retake on one of the sites, you go 3 on the other, you get a pick on the way in, job done. Inferno is so painful to retake.
Yeah, if they hadn't given
Any
up
kind of
brackets,
situation.
they probably could have been okay holding the 2 players forward and then falling back for the rotation, but they had fallen back specifically to play to the advantage that they had got with the 5-on-3, and then immediately he crashed. It was just a horrible look.
Really stings. Well, we'll have to see if the hero rifles can do a little bit more in this round. I just balance on that big green, of course, saved across from the previous. Shalfie with the AK up close and personal, but it's an apartments pop, and that is almost the perfect counter call. Dilladez goes down to A-Core's AWP early, and, well, Klax does very well to even get 1 on the 5-7, but immediately he's traded it out, and Shalfie, whilst he gets a kill, has got to clear out an incredibly awkward angle with Valde just lurking in towards Boiler. Knows that just courtesy of staying alive, realistically, he probably secures this round. It just means the CT side have got no forward position to work their way into the site. You can see Shalfie and Glowing now slow clearing their way around bracket. Shalfie is still holding for the boiler peak as Glowing spotted out. He's going to go for a bit of a swing here. Missed shot from A-Core might tempt him into it, but instead they're realistically just looking to save this one out. Shalfie, yes, it's an exit kill on Valde. That's all well and good, but it's going to be a 5-0 start for TSM on the T side, a 9 Pandas map pick. And Inferno, well, it was an intriguing decision to go here when I looked at it, and it's looking more and more intriguing by the moment as Nico continues to rip rifles away from this CT side.
Yeah, I know it's a limited pool, but over the kind of limited games that both of these teams have played, it is worth noting that TSM are fairly T-sided. Nine Pandas, on the other hand, are a little bit more even 50-50. So if they can turn this around into even a 7-8, I think they could... Oh, not 7-8, a 6-6. I think they can make it work. 7-5 even, giving away the 7. I think that could be enough alongside winning the pistol round to still turn it around in the second half. So it's not over. They're not down and out. They are now finally calling in that pause that I wanted from them as well. Makes sense. They're now getting the full buyout. This is really the first perfect full buy. As we had said, obviously, Shalfie was stuck on the MP9 on the previous, and then despite the advantage, Clax ended up crashing. Now they have everything, all the utility they could ask for, a couple of kits, the op-on-itis balance as well. They need to start winning rounds right now. Didn't even play the heavy B presence early on. I wonder if that's something TSM have noticed, because right now they're charging up second mid.
Oh, Clax playing with fire.
Risky games.
Lucky to get away. Very heavy, as you said. Second mid to apartments control from the T side. Just trying to bleed the util. Unfortunate not to get that pick there. We have to be honest, Clax. It's a risky old peek to take and gets away with one. But the T side, well, they're not doing anything too tricksy so far. They've worked their way up. They've got their apartments control. They're starting to work a couple players up mid, and they are looking like they just want to hit straight into this A site. The problem they got is that Shalfie's playing a fairly proactive position towards top of Banana. So for a long time, Nine Pandas kept 4 towards A, and they're thinking about rotating that 4th back in. The timing of this rotation could well decide how this round looks to go, as once again it's the pop out of apartments, but this time Clax in a good position, grabs himself one. Dilladez on a fantastic little spray down, finds the double, but there's Valde on that backstab, not expecting the second man, and it leaves Acor. A 1v2 for the Orpa to try and contend with. Molly goes into the site, not going to clear anything out from Glowing, as Acor gives away his position with some util of his own. CT smoke comes out. That'll start to shut the gap down, and Acor knows he's got to isolate these 1v1s. Edge of the smoke finds Glowing, and suddenly he's on for it. Bomb well planted for him. Shalfie up against Acor in the 1v1. Doesn't have a kit yet. Has to dive in towards Mini Pit to grab it. HE trying to draw Acor into the peak. He's tagged up, but not tagged enough for the second headshot will do. The defuse kit he picks up earlier will bail him out of trouble. And Nine Pandas finally have a round. And I will say it now, on their opposition's map pick, because after some confusion on the vetoes, it was TSM who picked Inferno. It was Nine Pandas who picked us too.
Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, I was wondering the TSM pick, I was thinking it was a little bit strange for Dust 2. I figured, well, they had one good win, but it was a very close overtime, so... I mean, I was thinking perhaps they just put a lot of work into it. But, yeah, so we do have a correct up there. This is TSM's map choice, as you were saying, but yeah, Nine Pandas still need to be putting up a better fight. It's not like Inferno isn't the map that they play often enough. That was a very close round win again. Shalfie's actually stuck on an MP9. I think by choice this time. What's going on here? Eating a nade. Okay, Altex. First true mid. No backup in that moment. Unfortunately, Dilladez takes a very aggressive stance in the arch and somehow manages to get the 2. That was a risky play, but he made it work. And while he gave Idislands the room he needed to work with, the fall back to the pit, take 1, and will nearly take the second. He warns Valda off from taking the fight instead. He's just going to go ahead and get that bomb planted. Shalfie up close on short already. Get Molly to flush him out rather. And peek from Glowing coming in from the library. It's all shut down. Very little that he could do right there. They played that well. They didn't give away the 1v1s until they were all ready to go. Plenty of time for the defuse, of course, so they're salvaging what utility they can.
Nice play from Nine Pandas. You do start to wonder now if TSM's T-side Inferno has really got a second look to it, because the last 3 or 4 rounds have all been fast-paced pops. Either out of the apartments, that time through a mid-smoke, and I mean, you can understand it, given especially in the last round, they had Mac 10s, and they had, you know, that lesser util, lesser firepower. We need to get up close and personal and try and get something done, but it'll be interesting to see after this round, because of course this one is going to be the half buy, if maybe they can play something a bit slower, a bit more map control centric, And if they can give that T side a different look and give Nine Pandas something different to ponder, because at the moment it is all fast paced and Nine Pandas had started to work out what to do.
Yeah, this is a round that they need to shut down without much trouble, though. Otherwise, I don't think they're really going to get any sort of weight off their shoulders heading towards this next one round. Or taking some damage, but nothing too bad. He's able to take control of the apartments for his team, allow those pistols to get up a little bit closer now, and eventually move into this A-bomb site. Unfortunately, they have no utility to work with, so that's not going to be an easy push.
Smoke's gone towards short. It's locked out at least an angle, gives them something to work with, but again, it becomes very one-dimensional at this point. Nine Pandas know the economy. They know that most of the util's gone down towards the A site, so 4 players rotate in. Shalfie, he's still got a little bit of util, so drops a smoke towards bottom banana just to stall, buy time there. Now, here we go. Hot flash in. It's a little ugly, but Shalfie is in a great position to capitalize. Grabs himself a couple of quick kills, and at this point, that is job done. Glowing dropping yet another smoke towards the bottom of banana. Just trying to see if maybe there's an exit kill for TSM somewhere on this board, but at the moment the chess pieces are moving well for the CT side, although Acor is able to capitalize on Altex missing a couple of shots. His Tech 9 finally rings out for a headshot, quickly traded down, and at this point, yeah, shouldn't be any more casualties. Bombs down in the middle of no man's land. Nico, well, he's got a CZ. How much can you realistically do with an IKEA pistol at this point?
Oh. Apparently a decent bit. Takes the low health Itis balance. Shalfie also tagged. Unfortunately, he is not the next man he finds the fight with. Instead, it's Glowin who shuts him down. We didn't get much of a chance to discuss it, but we did put Glowin as our player to watch. He's been in fantastic performance, playing very consistently throughout most of their best of threes, other than the loss to 3D Max, of course, where he did have a bit of an off game. So I think that's why we chose him as our player to watch. He could be the difference maker. Although I do need to say Itis Balance hasn't been in fantastic form, so when he shows up as well, that could make a big difference.
Nine Pandas aren't exactly short of individuals who can make a difference, are they?
It's about who's performing recently more so when you deal with a team like this, rather than who has that highest skill ceiling.
Well, we're taking timeouts on timeouts here, having a nice long think about it. I think for Nine Pandas, just looking to shut this one out towards the back end of the first half, making sure that they clear up as many rounds as they can. The economy for them still not fantastic, so some decisions to be made. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead, as I've just noticed, double Dillardez. There we go. Clax reconnects, and we are back and getting into it. We'll have the pause come in as we try and work our way through those technical issues, but it is one of those. I mean, now Clax is connected, the economy looks much, much stronger. I was a little worried with double Dillardez on 4200 with no buy whatsoever. Clax has got plenty of cash, though, and the rifles are out. So a decent enough buy for Nine Pandas, and it will be about shutting out these last few rounds now. TSM still on a very strong buy themselves. Limited sacrifices. I mean, Acor has gone glass cannon into the AWP to try and have impact with that, which T-side of Inferno is a very brave decision. Have to see how much he can get done with it.
Probably have to hold out and try and use it a little bit later in the round. We have seen Nine Pandas attempting later peaks to mid and such, but see exactly what the plan is. Right now we're dealing with a bit of a prolonged pause, unfortunately.
Hopefully we're getting it out of the way. I mean, Clax has been in and out now 2-3 times in these opening 8 rounds. Got to imagine it's something his way. Probably that his internet wires have melted. That would be my guess. His whole PC is just slowly melting into the ground. Certainly one of my braver predictions. That I've said some pretty out there things.
I don't know where exactly they're playing from, but if he's playing anywhere near Moscow, I think it's like 17 degrees and rain. So I'd like that weather right now.
That blows that one out of the water. I'm just imagining that everyone in the world is suffering as badly as I am right now. Apparently not.
Could just be a very sweaty person, so might be still relating to you. Never know. Do you think Clax is in the server at least? So
yeah,
he's waiting for a restore. Did he lose his Kevlar when it dropped out?
Quite possibly.
I would imagine that's the issue that we're dealing with right now. Yeah, there we go. I think that was something happening now.
There's definitely some typing going on. We can't see what exactly, but we do get the little clickety-clack of the messages coming in and out as players do work out what they want. I mean, like you say, Clax hasn't got any Kevlar. So,
but he does have his M4, so likely just got it when he loaded back in off the ground, but wants his Kevlar back as well.
Yeah, that's sort of which way I'm leaning. I'm trying to remember if he died in the last round to work out if he does need it, but my brain is betraying me. Plenty of clicking going on, so they're definitely talking about something. 5-3 down, probably having some quiet discussions between themselves as well. Just to try and work out what they can get going. Yeah, Clax didn't die last round, so he should have had armor, so that'll probably be it. It'll probably be the reset waiting to come through. And, well, while they're waiting, they'll be talking about, okay, TSM, what are they going to do differently this round? Because like I said just before we got into that pistol one, which was a little bit different, but it's only a half buy, so it doesn't really count, is that their T-side had overwhelmingly been fast-paced plays. I mean, even going back to the pistol, it was straight up banana and then a set execute into the B-bomb site, not really settling into anything, not really playing sort of that prodding and poking style that we do see so often on Inferno, because it is so beneficial for T-side. So they've definitely got the potential. It's a question of can they fall back onto that alternate strategy and maybe change the picture a bit, especially because, you know, the util on CT side is so important on a map like Inferno. So if you can just do that sort of prodding and poking style and you can force the CT side to drop their util early, there's so much potential in the late rounds to get stuff done. But we'll have to wait and see because Clax is back in the server.
It looks like we're getting right into it. No more sitting around, thankfully. Yeah, it's a solid buy from ESM. The utility could be a little bit better, but we've got the op, as you said, on A-Core without the armor. Let's see what his plan is. It's not the sort of position where you can just charge up banana hoping for a peak, unfortunately.
I do wonder if it's going to hamstring him a little bit, just having to play so passively because of the potential util damage.
I think they're relying on a mistake for 9 Pandas to maybe be feeling a bit overconfident or perhaps wanting to change it up after the long pause that we just went through.
I'm seeing a slightly different look to the T side, arguably.
Much slower, but a similar goal. Again, taking the apartment's control in towards brackets then.
Yeah, it's a question of timings though, because you can see 9 Pandas on the mini-map through Eye Disbalance and Glowing are going for the banana retake. They are going to get the information. They are going to start to play this, but it means they've got 3 players over towards the B-bomb site. So as TSM start to look to drop util into A, it's a game of how long they last and how quickly that flank starts to come in from the CT side. The rotations, they are starting to work their way around here. Charging into the site is Shalfie. Eye Disbalance not far behind. They will be here in good enough time to try and get something done. As Shalfie wants to pop the smoke, goes 1 for 1 in the initial trade. Eye Disbalance can't quite land the shot. And now these 2 players inside a site are on an island. Clax and Dillades, how much can you realistically get done? Nice crossfire. Dillades able to grab a double, but it's quickly traded away as Eye Disbalance onto the Julies to buy a 1v2. And Oltex, well, he's going to be able to get that bomb down unopposed. Glowing does have util, but doesn't want to risk switching off. And Eye Disbalance, well, the AWP misses, but the dual Berettas, he's got 2 of them. He's twice as likely to hit. A 4th round on the board for 9 Pandas. Not the cleanest job in the world, but they read it nicely. They had some nice ideas towards B with the top banana retake, and they got in position in time to shut down the T-side hit.
Yeah, 9 Pandas are starting to fly through some of these rounds now. I've got to get a little bit worried for TSM because, as I had mentioned, in the limited pool of games that both of these teams have played, TSM have been fairly heavily T-sided here on Inferno. And if 9 Pandas can work their way up towards that 7-5 half, then they'll be definitely worried for TSM. Dropping his flashes back there, was it? Yeah, I just balanced going for the early peak then for sure. And his teammates have them if he does end up dying. Early smoke though is a little bit of a nuisance. Instead they're going to try and potentially boost on the half wall. I thought that's what they were going to go for, but they decided against it. I think Glowing was offering. And
yeah, Glowing was offering. Eye Disbalance said not a chance. But it's going to be the group towards B, which again, the timing on the rotations is a little bit ugly. Shuffy, well, he knows he wants to try and get some information here, but is he getting a little more than he bargained for? Smoke goes into CT. Nice HE. And a counter smoke from the CT side to try and stall for time. Can't imagine that the Pistols are going to respect that all too much as they look to set themselves up with a little bit of an execute here. 3 Molotovs in the hands as they look to burn the entirety of this B bomb site. 1 smoke for Xiphon as well to potentially lock out one of these angles with 55 seconds on the clock. And while the CT side playing very passive, so they've got no information on what's about to come through here. It is just a game of these individual fights. Shalfie pops the smoke and it's a misplay. 3 players ready and waiting to face him. Xiphon gets the trade and now it is all on Glowing. We wanted him to be the player to watch. He's got a lot to do here and the spray down lines up beautifully. 3 quick kills and he single-handedly rescued the round for his team. It is all on to the last man up in Acor, and he can't do anything. Those Julies continuing to be the best weapon in Idis Balance's arsenal of equipment as they level things out at 5 apiece.
Yeah, I like what we're getting from pretty much everyone on 9 Pandas right now. They're all performing. Glowing, he may have been our player to watch, but that's just because he's had consistent performances and he's given that to us right now. He's handling it well when it needs to be, when the job needs to be done. I know there was a few weaker weapons in play right there, but if he got overrun, that bomb site could have been lost and things could have gotten a little bit dangerous. Instead, now they're sitting on a 5-5 scoreline. You've got Idis Balance looking strong on the op as well. Shalfie having a strong performance, and all around now, man. Pandas have taken these last 5 rounds without too much hassle. Glowing through the smoke, managing to get that second one. The nade through as well should do further damage. Acor and Xiphon just slightly being chipped at. Altex may be able to spot this aggression up towards the balcony, although he diverts his attention more so towards mid. The op is going to be waiting. Never mind. Altex is way too quick. He gets both of them. The Leda is just, I don't even know what happened to him. Caught in the open.
This is on Klax now. He needs a couple of quick kills. Manages to grab 1 from his extended position on balcony. Altex in a fantastic spot, though, and has just single-handedly decided he wants this round, although his team aren't going to give him to it easy. 3 kills on the board. 3 magnificent headshots, and now he's in a 1v1. Klax able to deny Xiphon that bomb transfer to the B-bomb site and put himself in a fantastic position here. T-side smoke actually giving him a little bit of cover as well. Altex, a lot of angles, a lot of time. Klax has got a lot to cover as well. He's just going to wander into it, but it's Altex again. A quad kill down to a single point of health. Takes Jules left, right, and centre, winning every single one. And well, TSM, they've gone from 5-0 to 5-5. They needed a little bit of magic, and Altex is the man to provide.
Crazy. I thought Idis Balance had that. It was almost a sitter initially, but at the very least the trade was perfectly set up. The Leda has just remained crouched, I believe, and gave Altex the chance to go ahead and swing the angle himself rather than being the one being swung on. Plenty of time to set that crosser and such. I mean, despite the round win though, TSM's buy is not all that great. They do have a couple of Mac-10s and a little bit of play, and they've realised that and have decided to just charge it into B. Already 1 kill to their name. Glowing though with the smoke to divide the players and go ahead and split up the fight and shut it down completely, and with a little bit of assistance from Deledes, who takes the final 3 there as well. They go ahead and tie it up at 6-6. A strong recovery from the initial fight.
Well, from 5-0 up, TSM are going to be mighty disappointed to find themselves 6-all as we head into the start of this second half. Their CT side by far the weaker of the two, although iDisbalance looking to give up a pick early, lucky to be alive. Dilladez will go down to Voltex in these opening moments, who's really finding a bit of form here. A quick second and he's almost single-handedly stopped this apartment's pop before it begins. Xiphon with a quick headshot, plucking a man out of the sky, and well, for sure, glowing an iDisbalance. It's just about recovering what you possibly can. I mean, the bomb is out in no man's land, and Acor is not making it any easier. Wallbang headshot through smoke. And 9 Pandas decimated in the second half pistol.
I like the idea. They just wanted to get straight into it. They kind of got shut out of the first pistol round before they ever really had a chance to even have a shot at it. Obviously, by the time they started moving in, as we had noted, they were pretty much out of time. They took all the kills and had to fall back. This time they were like, you know what, let's get up in their faces with the Glocks, maybe do the same thing to them. And well, it just didn't work out. Also, fantastic work from Xiphon. Had a real struggle when he took that initial peek down mid, but then just absolutely domes the player jumping out of the apartments mid-air, because that's just how it is. You always hit the hard shots, right? It's when the muscle memory kicks in.
Always the way. Well, iDisbalance is looking for a miracle here.
Not bad.
Gets himself
get
a
few
kill.
Kills. It helps with the money towards the op later on.
Yeah, no. Lovely stuff from TSM. One of those where if they get that pick down mid and they get a nice clean peak like they did, not able to convert, but still, then you go, oh yeah, fantastic, cool, really well done. If they're charging up mid with 4 Ts and he takes that peak, he gets absolutely decimated. So a little bit of a read, perhaps. I mean, there is a decent amount of data on 9 Pandas on Inferno. They've played it a fair few times, so nicely worked to get themselves back into the equation here. They need a very strong start to that CT side. They need the economy on their side to be able to pick up the utility they want. 3 MP9s is the reflection of that as they look to farm up some cash against what is an almost entirely full eco from this T side. iDisbalance just switching on to his favourite Julies to see if maybe he can get a little bit of something. But yeah, as you said, nice HE. MP9 goes to work and, well, yeah, it should be a clean ace. And indeed it is. Acor, well, he's exactly the man you'd want to be farming up a little bit of cash, eh?
Cache isn't like reputation.
Cash, hey, come on.
Yeah, no, great work though. 4 MP9 kills. Did they decide to keep 3 MP9s now though? I mean,
that's brave.
I'm thinking maybe Acor upgrade since he's got so much money, leave the 2 with Valda and Nico, but perhaps they're looking for early aggression, and that looks to be the case with the 3 MP9s going towards B. 2 M4s maybe take a bit of a peek down mid in the meantime as well, perhaps not quite as aggressively, but let's see exactly what the plan is. Heavy nades on Banana, Alnex caught by the charge through the smoke. Xiphon though is ready for the swing in the trade, so that's not terrible. The damage in the meantime is heavily leaning right now in favor of 9 Pandas. If Nico wants to go ahead and remedy that situation, in through the smoke and down through the tunnels to escape.
Hiding away, he's done a fantastic job to get out of dodge, and there's really no trade forthcoming for the T side. That bomb down bottom of mid, iDisbalance finally finds Nico, flushes him out, gets himself the kill, and this is where it starts to get a little sketchy now for the CT side. I think Valde's rotation has been heard by Dilladez, who's managed to settle himself beautifully into CT spawn, rather. So he can pretty much cut off rotations anywhere he pleases, and it is just a game of timing, because you can see Xiphon and Acor have no idea that there's a man in the back lines here. They've taken long control. They'll think that they've got archers decently covered, but Dilladez remains an issue, and Xiphon, well, he's knife out at this point. There's the freebie. Dilladez grabs it, and now Valde and Acor have got a huge decision to make. Acor wants to think about trying to find this trade, but he's in such a rough spot, does very, very well on the timings, and that bomb is still yet to get inside of this site with 35 seconds on the clock. So as Acor is able to upgrade onto a rifle, if he can deny that bomb cross, this gets so damn ugly. Smoke goes down to try and give a bit of room, but it's very awkwardly placed. A HE onto iDisbalance brings him down to 16. A molly will trap him in the apartments with just 20 seconds left here. He's got to wait for that one to burn out, and that's allowing time for Valde, who will be making his way up towards top of middle. This is about to get spectacularly sketchy, and iDisbalance is caught in transition. This should have been a slam dunk of a round, and somehow it's Clax again with 3 seconds left. Nothing to do. TSM have 9.
Acor is just playing a fantastic game right now. And the nade initially to slow him down, the molly then immediately to follow it up, traps him in. By the time he starts jumping out and the bomb gets dropped, there's already a player in position to just peek in from short, so it was completely done. Just managed to play out perfectly, and well, the fact that they didn't get caught by the Ledes lurking towards the spawn for however long that lasted, 40 or so seconds, was fantastic as well. They managed to deal with that somehow. A little bit of luck on their side, you have to say, but complaining about that. 3 rounds in a row for TSM here after a rough start to the previous, rough end to the previous half, rather. You seem to have found some signs of life. If they keep it up now against the half play here is the question. Try and keep everyone standing safely.
Get out of
Take
it
that
clean.
10th round, yeah, and try and actually get some economy going, because right now they don't really have all that much. A lot of missed shots.
Glowing. Able to take out Nico. I mean, there's a good rotation here. The A site very heavily defended, and Valde doing a fantastic job of cutting down anyone who tries to rotate out of it. Xiphon chiming in to bail his Orpa out of a slightly awkward situation, and at this point, it should be job done. I Disbalance not going to make it anything but. Does manage to find himself at least a kill, but again, 20 HP between 2 players on this T side now. For TSM, just a matter of mopping things up. Pop flash to get them into the site, but again, that bomb is in no man's land. They're just setting up TSM, making sure they don't give too much away. And looking to lock this one out with 40 seconds left on the clock. I mean, Glowing has got himself into a position here. Certainly if Xiphon overextends into this angle, life could get a little bit awkward. It's a game of timings. He's waiting to see if anyone will commit to that overextension, but as of yet, Xiphon just flirting with the idea, not quite able to commit either way. So with 20 seconds on the clock, I think we'll probably be seeing a save from these 2 remaining T-side players. Certainly, Disbalance has worked his way all the way back into T-Kitchen, so he's having nothing to do with it. And it will be double digits on the board for TSM, considering how rough it was towards the back end of that first half. This CT split is working out marvellously for them.
Alone, I think will be okay. Acor is not going to want to throw away the off, but if he wanted to, definitely could have had a shot at taking the weaponry there if they had actually pushed through with a second player as well. Either way, 9 Pandas allowed to save a couple of weapons. They'll manage to get a pretty solid buy here to work with as well, but TSM are up on 10. If they win out this gun round, will likely be propelling themselves towards that finish line already, so it's now or never for 9 Pandas. And, well, we know they can do it because they took quite a while to wake up on the first half as well, but let's see.
Running out of time to do it. Certainly leaving themselves with a very slim margin for error. 10-6 down, in need of something a little bit special. No AWP for Disbalance. Save the M4A4, and off the back of those 2 saved rifles, it's not a bad looking buy, you know. Able to scrape it together. There's some slim utility pickings for a couple of players, but they've definitely got enough for a full execute, and well, it looks like that's exactly what's on the cards here. Fast take towards Banana, waiting out the initial CT utility, then setting up camp. As Klax is just making some noise, trying to be a bit of a nuisance out towards A, hoping to keep the rotations honest. So far doing a fantastic job of it. 9 Pandas, a minute left on this clock, and it is, again, that game of timings. Fast-paced execute coming through into this B site. The smoke's popped, nothing seen yet. Valde through it, finding himself a clean double kill as Nico chimes in for one more, and this one is stopped at scores. Nico and Valde are one-man army, or should it be 2, cleaning up on the B-bomb site. Double kill for Nico, triple for Valde, and that one, yeah, that is just an absolute lockout. I do wonder, again, a couple of perhaps small mistakes being made. I always feel like you're not in a good position to pop a smoke if you've got 4 people behind it. Saw Xiaofi try and get that going with the HE there, took a lot of damage himself, almost gave his position away to Valde, who's then able to swing and take full advantage. But TSM are taking what's given to them at the moment, and they're doing a fantastic job of it.
Yeah, I'd said they were heavily T-sided in the games they've led so far, but right now they're showing that their CT side can be just as formidable. Perhaps just hadn't been given as much of a chance to showcase it. You get a second tactical timeout from 9 Pandas finally. Used one earlier, managed to turn things around with, I believe it was 5 rounds in a row. Are we going to have a similar experience here to tie us up 11-11? I'm not too hopeful with the buy, but who knows, sometimes you can pop off with the freedom of these weaker buys here on Inferno. Catch one lucky kill early on, rather, and things can really spiral out of control for the CT side. I wouldn't count it out.
It does feel like 9 Pandas just haven't quite been able to get that initial kill uncontested, right? Every time they've done so, someone's been there to trade and mop up the pieces. Never really felt that spiraling effect that we saw a good few times from TSM TSM's fast-paced D-side rounds where Pandas just couldn't get into it. This time, though, as you said, pistols are out, Tech 9's P2 Fiddies, and a decent little handful of utility as well to essentially retry this B-site hit. It's a free shot at it. With 3 smokes and a couple of HEs. Nice Molotov coming in from the CT side, though, and a well-timed HE to boot. Just ticking away at the player's health. Making them reset, making them reconsider. Here we go again. I mean, it's the same personnel in the same place. Although Valde is just switching it up with a little bit of a change. Looking to boost up. Behind new boxes, the smoke comes in. Acor able to rotate as that lurk goes down. So he'll be in a good position to try and deny this one. The AWP at range, going to be run down. Can't quite land his initial shot. And now Clax is there to punish. It's on to Nico and Valde again inside of this B-bomb site. They were heroes last time out. And they're looking to be so again. Edge of the smoke this time betrays Valde. He was so good through it last round. And Nico is on his own in no man's land, doing it all by himself. A huge double kill as he's bought his team half a chance here. That bomb still has to go down with 25 seconds on the clock, and Zyphon has dealt with Idis balance. He is dragging his team back into this one in the 2-on-2. Make it 2-on-1 as Zyphon goes huge, and Clax, with only a Tech 9 to his name, has got to try and stitch this 1v2 together. Spots out Zyphon, can't react in time. 10 seconds to try and find the kill. He's grabbed the bomb at the very least, taps it, desperate for the fight, finds one, but it won't be the second. It is by the skin of their teeth, but TSM have map point.
Yeah, this is not going well. TSM looking to close out on their own map pick here, moving on to Dust 2. Really looking like the better individuals, which is a scary thing to think for 9 Pandas. Again, TSM have only got 1 game on record on Dust 2. It is a win against 3D Max. Considering the form that they've been in, which has been pretty solid, dealing with oppers like Maka on Dust 2, that can be difficult to do, and they made it happen. Very aggressive, actually gets caught through the smoke. I thought he was going to get caught by the second player peeking in from second mid there as he started to go a little bit wider, but a little bit of a fortunate shot through the smoke instead is what makes it happen. Acor is going to get caught on mid. He has to deal with players from both Boiler and mid itself, and he just can't escape. Pandas finally cracking their way through this defense, but is it too late is the question.
I mean, this one's a lock. Getting a couple of quick picks and really talking about that snowball effect, right? Couple of quick picks, accelerating into the site, well timed. Idis balance. He's not been having a good time with that AWP. Mostly the dual Berettas that have actually been bailing him out of dodge when those shots haven't quite landed. So Nico is happy to take the kill. Will be quickly traded away before it gets too sketchy. 7th on the board. And this is where potentially you start to see that frail nature of the CT economy on Inferno. They've lost 1 round after winning about 6 on the trot. And as much as Altex can drop, Acor, having bought the AWP several times, is in a very precarious position. If this one goes south, then a full eco to follow is pretty much inevitable. TSM won't want to let it get there. Will want to shut this one out nice and quickly. Not allow 9 Pandas to feel their way back in, because as you said, Dean, I mean, we're heading to Dust 2 next, and that is a map that they're very comfortable on, very confident on, and definitely a map that we would normally say plays to 9 Panda strengths.
Yeah, usually. Especially with an opera like Idis balance, but at the moment Acor been doing a pretty decent job with his one as well as on the rifles, and well, individually the form 9 Pandas just hasn't been quite as strong. Looking at the kills, you'd think it's okay, but when it's really needed, TSM have been the ones who have showed up time and time again.
Yeah. What's the call here? Big round, big decisions to be made, and a fast-paced play for Glowing. He wants the fight, but the CT Molotov from Nico is timed to perfection. Right when it looked like both him and Valde were in a ton of danger, blinded up, he manages to get that util down. Forces Glowing to reconsider. Does a decent amount of damage to boot. As Clax again. The probe towards this A site. A nice chip of damage onto Acor. Something a little bit different. A heavy-handed bracket set up from the CT side. It's smelt out by the early util. The Molotov follows up. It's a nice opening set from 9 Pandas, just pushing the CT side back off their initial setups. Question is, what do they do with the read now? It looks like it's going to be B again, which for now is very sparsely occupied. Valde rotating in as quick as he can. How long will they respect that CT smoke for becomes the question. Not too much longer by the feel of things. Smoke goes out towards CT. Zyphon thinking about making the rotation as the util rings out. Nico and Valde again to try and lock it down. The pop flash from Valde is beautiful, and it buys his team the man advantage. 2-on-3 after plant. Definitely one the CT side will want to consider. Lacking a defuse kit makes it that little bit more difficult, but Xiaofi needs to get this initial kill, needs to keep Midas balance in it, and he won't be able to. 13-7 will be the final score. TSM flying on their map pick of Inferno. Their CT side looking utterly magnificent, you have to say.
Yeah, I was... Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure if we were going into the cameras there or not, but yeah, I was a little bit worried initially. Obviously, going up 5-0, 9 Pandas, TSM rather, looked fantastic, but then they let it slip away. The half closed in, ended up 6-6. You were thinking, okay, I think it's like 70% around.
If we're completely honest, a map that both of these teams have extremely mixed results on, neither really able to grasp it by the scruff of the neck and take it over in the way we saw map 1 and 2, but still a map with a lot of potential on it. I mean, both teams playing teams of a fairly to significantly high caliber. Both times we've seen, but 9 Pandas arguably, I think, playing the tougher opposition, playing the tougher game. So we'll have to see if they can convert that into the victory here on the decisive map in this series, or if TSM will be able to pull off the upset to go 3-0 at the top of Group A here in ESL Challenger League Season 48. Starting CT side of things. A blessing and a curse. Very much depends on which way you look at it. There's a slow-paced start to things here from 9 Pandas, just waiting out any opening aggression, but nothing's forthcoming. They'll take the mid-control through Idis Balance and Xiaofi, and perhaps look to add a second prong to this offensive into a heavily stacked B-bomb site. Nico posted up on short will be the early warning sign, but Zyphon, Valde, Acor all lying in wait for this exact hit, and, well, maybe, just maybe, 9 Pandas are smelling a rat, Dean. Oh. Big information here from Glowing. He's heard the footsteps rotating in through CT. Smoke goes out. That'll isolate the bomb. There's a kit available here as well. Might just be the straight stick, and indeed, it looked to be initially. Zyphon now gets the shot, and indeed, they will start to stick it out. Acor finding a big headshot inside of the smoke. Last man up is Dilladez desperately trying to get something done, but finally the stick comes through. Would have argued that Valde could have gone for that straight away with the smoke down, but he opts to get the kills instead before he finds the conversion. And well, it's a little scrappy, a little messy from TSM, but their setup works in the end. CT pistol is theirs. And with the bomb down, 9 Pandas have a decision to make, and that decision looks like it's going to be force up.
It's pretty much always the decision. They look to force buys in the second rounds. Not surprising with the style that they play. Heavy on the Galils as well. It's not a bad purchase by any means up against these M4s, especially as the M4s charge up mid. Xiaofi fortunately has no assistance to deal with it. Instead, he calls that towards his teammates, who are going to, in the meantime, go ahead and take advantage of a weakened A-bomb site. But those rotations are so fast. Zyphon back in position. There's no smokes to allow the crosses towards the site, and they have been locked out with bombs sent scattering back down the ramp now.
Timing game. That Deagle of Glowing has worked his way to B, and there is a man on short in Xiaofi as well to cut rotations. Right as the smoke play comes in, Acor, it's a dink, but no conversion. Glowing, a beautiful kill on the Deagle, and this round is done. A couple of opportune moments. I mean, you spoke about how fast the rotation was into benefit of that 3-man push up mid. Consequence is that all 3 rotated to A and nobody was home on B. Clean as you like for Glowing, a smooth entry into the site, able to upgrade onto an M4A1 off the back of the Deagle. A round in 9 Pandas' hands, and well, Zyphon and Valde desperate to hold on to the rifles they can, because that CT economy isn't going to sustain much of anything in the next.
This is exactly the fight we wanted here on the final map of this best of 3. Looks like we're going to have a bit of back and forth. A couple of M4s are going to be at least carried forward, so there's something here for TSM to work with, but obviously their force buy isn't quite going to be on par with what we see in 9 Panda field in this round. They'll be heavy on the utility here now on the T side to back up those Galils. Obviously an M4 retained. The Ledez should go straight towards the AK, I'd imagine. Maybe get one dropped over by a teammate just so he can get the full nades as well. And if they can deal with this force buy now that's going to come out around the couple of rifles, they'll have a chance to take that early T-side lead.
Not the easiest thing in the world to do, of course. Zyphon and Valde, very capable.
Yeah.
MP9 in Altex's hands can do a lot of damage. It's
Acor.
about calling a smart round here as much as anything for 9 Pandas.
Acor wants that off early on, but it seems like they're kind of half in. Maybe they don't have the faith that you want them to have in this round right now in themselves.
Yeah, 1450 as well. It's a tough place to try and even start saving towards the AWP. Mid control taken by 9 Pandas. As you'd expect, a relatively passive opening. Just taking some initial control away from the CT side, bleeding out what little util they were able to invest into this round, and now starting to set themselves up. Mid-split A is going to be the call. There is an MP9 up close and personal here. We know how much damage that can do, and it's Dilladez with bomb down, but as Glowing gets the kill inside of sight, Altex looks to activate just a little too soon. Leaves Zyphon an isolated figure. I mean, he's not been checked just yet. Been spamming every angle for all it's worth, but yet to really clear it out, as instead Sharpie's going to look to clear out CT, and well, they've cleared out everything here. Zyphon is the only man inside of sight, so he'll go 1-for-1, but it's job done. Valde perhaps praying that his CT man and site player could stay alive for another 10-15 seconds and enable him to get something done on this backstab. Instead, you've got to imagine he's going to be looking to save this rifle. Give his team something, anything to work with in the next round, because otherwise it is the full eco. 4 alive for 9 Pandas, though. Economy's going to start to build that T side, and it's only 3 rounds in. It feels harsh to be saying this, but it's already looking to get a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, Valde just clinging desperately to the same M4. 9 Panda's taking a very convincing round as well, which is what they wanted. Only Clax dies. This time likely you do see an eco around the M4. I don't think they're going to force it again. That would be a crazy idea. Likely giving up a 3rd round and then fighting to try and get back on their feet afterwards. But with a hero M4, there is always something to be said. Bit of utility with the flash as well. Maybe give that to a teammate. And use that for you, preferably. Yeah, not even a single pistol being purchased up otherwise. Surprisingly not that aggressive either, just playing from under palace, I believe, on the headshot angle on the bricks.
Yeah. Just looks like this T-side's going to dodge him entirely, to be honest. Smoke towards con, smoke window, even smoke in the ladder room, taking absolutely no risks. Glowing deals with Zyphon, the spam through. Yeah, as expected. Idis Balance actually manages to find Valde through the smoke timings. Clax gets one more. I mean, Acor, sure, he grabs one. That's a rifle in his hands at the very least, but his position known. He's desperately isolated. Nico not cleared initially, so I mean, all said and done, a couple of kills is not a bad result from that round whatsoever. Couple of missed opportunities on clearances from 9 Pandas. TSM take advantage. Gonna need a lot more where that came from, though. Even with the reinvestment on 3, the economy's set for at least a buy after this from 9 Pandas, regardless of the outcome of this round, whereas for TSM, it is panic stations. They've bought, but they've spent everything. 4 players without head armor, no defuse kits on the board whatsoever. Acor gets the big green, but how much impact can he have with it? Towards the mid-window initially. Would expect to be flushed out by utility there, and indeed he is. A mid-window smoke insta comes through from the T side, so he'll relocate towards the B-bomb site. And there's going to be some aggression, actually, from Valde. Well-timed. There's nobody's home to receive it from 9 Pandas, but is that even going to matter if they go quickly instead? There's 3 players over towards the B-bomb site right now. Zyphon and Ultex have got a hold, and it's Zyphon with a big double to open up, buying time for these rotations to come through. Acor and Nico looking to swing in from CT and support. He's bought just enough time. You can see 9 Pandas a little cautious about going into that site right now. Slowing things right up, allowing Valde to work his way all the way back through T-spawn. That bomb has got to go down now. And it's taken a long old time to get into position. Valde will work his way through Palace. They tap the bomb, desperate to work any kind of information out of this round. Now the stick. It's a flash through. Nico through the smoke gets one, and this is a demolition job. Shalfie was meant to be playing the afterplant. Instead, he's got to play a 1v4 with 45 seconds on the clock. Spotted out by Nico. Valde in a perfect position to shut him down. And it's a second round for TSM. A smooth round as well.
Yeah, the initial fake on the bomb plant, I think, is what ends up doing them in as well, unfortunately. The wall bang in towards the corner ends up denying the bomb plant with, I would imagine, milliseconds left before it went down, which at least would have maybe given Shalfie a chance. Instead, he's stuck on stairs without the bomb even being planted. 3-2. TSM able to get themselves back on the board in a fairly convincing fashion. They can take this one. The economy of 9 Pandas starts to wear a little bit thin. For now, though, they're still in a pretty dangerous position. It's boost above the smoke on mid. Igor, he's gone for the opposite approach and actually dropped low with his one. And, well, Glowin wasn't expecting it, apparently. They should have known that was a possibility with the smoke down. Someone could have made it in or out early on. Instead of catching them off guard, Altex takes a second kill here as well for them, and well, despite a trade, advantage currently sits with TSM, though that is with the Opera still incredibly aggressive, trapped and under. Klax decides to make a play out of Palace in the meantime, and this is getting very scary. Do they know Acor's still here?
Sketchy in the extreme here. Fast flanking Valde's going to get one. Shalfie very quick to react, and he's just spotted Acor as well. Knows where the Orpa is. Can't quite land the headshot initially. He's desperate to hunt it down. So much damage done. Now he's flanked out from mid, and somehow on 3 HP he stays alive. Hightails it into the B bomb site. Acor is working his way out onto A, and he may be able to deny this whole damn thing. Klax goes safe with it. Default plant will get him at least a bit of clearance, a bit of cover to work the situation. Shalfie is flanking through CT spawn. Acor wants to clear this site player. Timing on it's bad for him, though. Now the cross, beautifully placed. Gets his man, and Shalfie, he's got 3 HP after an awkward fight with Acor. And has it all to do. Acor's having none of it. Lightning fast reactions. TSM are up for a fight here, Dane.
Yeah, they're not going to let this one be an easy one at all. 9 Pandas. They had it easy after the first couple of rounds, perhaps. Close one, though. Only 2 players left standing. It'll cost them everything to get the reinvestment once again. As I said, 9 Pandas are finally running low on the economy themselves, but with the bomb plant at least going down, they've got some rifles. They clearly have the willpower as well to go for this and try and again put up a bit of a fight. I thought we were going to see the op for a second. It was purchased and sold, so a weapon could be dropped over instead, I believe. Or maybe not. No, Bounce is just hanging on to the extra cash. We're looking at probably a quicker round here. Straight out towards middle. I'm not going to be going for any boosts over the smoke this time around. Maybe expecting the same level of aggression towards under. Not happening, though. It's actually TSM heavily stacked towards the bomb sites themselves.
Last place play towards B here could be huge. There's only a couple of players and nobody in a rotation position. Nico has to lock down short, and a big double opens it up. Can't get any more than that. But Valde through the smoke finds his man. And with 3 kills inside of the site itself, all Valde's got to do is stay alive. He waits for the flashbang, perfectly placed by Zyphon. And the round is good and gone. It's very scrappy, but the CT side are up for the challenge. Nico, we know what an accomplished rifler he can be. Altex clears up. And that is a huge double kill. If he goes down early there, Valde is desperately isolated inside of the B bomb site. Had to stay alive, had to buy time for the rotations. We saw it from Valde and Nico on map 1, B site Inferno. This time it's B site Mirage. They do the exact same job.
Panda's starting to hit a little bit of a wall here again. hero AK fried his balance. That's why he saved a bit of money in the previous round, perhaps, in case it didn't go too well. Other than that, though, it is just clocks to work with. So I'm not loving their chances here. Nice timing on the smoke as well is going to make this a little bit more difficult. Nade still takes in a strong position, actually struggles a little bit. Collins gets the one kill, but that is all. And fantastic control on the AK there from Zyphon. Was assisted by some damage already being done, but either way, held it down and extends that TSM lead up 5-3 now. I believe that's been 4 rounds in a row. 9 Pandas. They want to start having something to say once again, otherwise it's going to get out of hand.
Yeah, their individuals have gone a little quiet, and I think some of the big players for TSM are really starting to step up. Zyphon 9-4, Valde 6-1. Akor's really been amongst it as well. Nico has some good holds, and they're going to look to keep the pressure on here. Fast-paced up mid, but Shalfie is very ready for it. In amongst the flames, very nearly gets a double. Altex on 20, just about able to finish the meal and escape. 4-on-4 with a health advantage. 9 Pandas will take it. Mid control. Taken off the back of Shalfie's initial aggressions. Looks like they want to hit this A site with pace. Altex in a rough old spot here. A lot of angles to hold. Not a lot of time to do it. Glowing gets the kill. And now Zyphon, again, playing with the timings a little bit. Dilladez not quite expecting it. And as much as Akor was flashed off into CT, he's able to escape as a result of Zyphon getting that kill. So nothing found. Stays 3-on-3. And once again, we see Valde working this round-the-world flank. Akor needs this kill in towards CT. Misses the shot. Glowing there with the punishment. And now Zyphon, he's got a lot to do because Valde's flank really becomes ineffective if he can't open up the site. Eye disbalance once more. Plagued with a missed AWP shot. Zyphon opens it. 2-on-2, but look at Clax. He was so ready for that play and so ready for the adjustment. 2 clean headshots. 9 Pandas with their 4th, and the adjustment has come through for the T side.
Yeah, it won't be the end of TSM by any means. 9 Pandas are on the T side. If they can claw it back and bring it up to 6 rounds even, potentially still to 7, then they'll be in a fantastic position despite the struggle they've had throughout the middle of this half. First though, definitely too early to celebrate yet. Just about affording their bye here again, meaning they do need to chain these rounds together. Nearly peaks on mid. There is the up of Akor towards connector. Other than that though, it's not heavy presence on mid at all for TSM. Nico's even fallen back from short, so if they wanted, 9 Pandas could move in and take that control. Not aware of it currently. Instead, a heavy presence towards the B apartments. Very early on in the round.
And this B bomb site has been a fortress so far for TSM.
Yeah.
Nico and Valde. I mean, it's a hell of a combination to have anchoring down your B bomb site Mirage. It's going to be that B split again, though. Util available. Valde spots it. Molly comes in. He manages to escape the first angle, but can't escape Dilladez's bullets. And now Nico's in a load of pain. Nothing he can do. Catches the wrong angle at the wrong time. Glowing gets the kill, and, well, the round is done. As you said, that economy for the CT side not yet established. So Zyphon and Akor need to save to maybe enable a drop, something into the next round. Can't afford to lose any of these rifles here. And to be fair, neither can 9 Pandas. Suspect we'll see a bit of a handshake here. That T-side economy nowhere near established, so a round with all 5 alive would be fantastic. It's going to be 5 on the board for 9 Pandas, though. That T-side of Mirage, you know, we say 5 rounds is normally enough. They got an opportunity to really kick on towards the death of this first half and make it a formidable T-side.
Yeah, they've already set themselves in a good position. Potentially an excellent one to come with these final 2 rounds if they can go their way. Akor holds his ground to at least carry forward his weapon alongside his teammates, so that shouldn't be an issue. They'll be able to drop over the weapons that they need. What they really, really need is to win out these final rounds. Preferably both of them. They call it their first tactical pause. Surprised we didn't see one early on when they were struggling in the initial few rounds. Managed to eventually
back and forth start.
Yeah,
good.
Instead, now only pulling out their first one, meaning there's plenty to go if they continue to have moments throughout this game.
Would be nice to see a bit of a change up from them. Obviously, the mid-aggression a couple rounds back didn't work. Then they went very passively. But as we've seen there, if you go passive into the site, it's very easy for a team of 9 Pandas caliber to just execute into you, isolate the fights.
They're just completely giving it up. As you said, the last 2 rounds, I believe now they've done so. And obviously, one of the rounds when they completely gave it up, Nico was able to pop off on short when they went in that direction. But still, it's just a very difficult position to leave yourself in with no map control at all. So they do actually drop the op in towards under. And while this worked out earlier on when they were able to get the pick in towards under itself, this time Acor takes out Glowing at top mid. And with an early man advantage, TSM are no longer feeling the same pressure. The trades, though, are definitely in play. I believe that player
nice reaction.
Back up to the connect earlier as well. I thought Shalfie had a chance at maybe bringing it into the 3-on-3. Instead, they are going to commit this towards B.
I just balance in a great spot, but just can't quite react to Nico playing the edge of that smoke, and neither can Clax. Not able to find the kill whatsoever. Nico, the smoke criminal. TSM, that felt like they were in a bit of a dodgy spot there. The reaction was nice from 9 Pandas. Lose the initial pick onto Acor and just accelerate into that B bomb site. But the acceleration, they get the site, but nothing more than that. Nico playing the edge of the smoke in a great position. I disbalance. Had a lot of angles to watch to give him his dues from window. Just couldn't quite pick the right one. So 6-5. Means it's a much nicer buy from TSM for the last round of this first half, and a much scrappier one for 9 Pandas. Dilladez, well, he's pulled off some miracles with that Deagle. We'll be asking a lot of him here, however. Again, initial mid control to be contested, and this time Acor looking to mix up that AWP's position, takes it towards top con instead, lets Zyphon play the close angle, looks to just reset the expectations of the T side, and it works out nicely. Shalfie slow peeks into the angle. It's a gift for the AWPer. Well, Zyphon will be hoping he's unexpected here, given it was the AWP previously. Or Acor actually picks up a second, and again, Disbalance just ain't having a day with that AWP. Map 1, it betrayed him. Map 3, the same. Zyphon picks up a quick double as a result. And Clax trying to do what he can. Feels like honor's even at the half, unless he can pull off something truly miraculous here. Has at least got the B site, but so many players just ready and waiting for this exact play. Taps away for one. Takes the dink of Valdez M4 on the chin.
Oh,
Dinked
a couple
out
of
by the
seconds
nade.
later, he'd be dead right now.
They're just going to toy with their food here. Zyphon with a full belt of util. Yeah, there it is. That'll be the finisher. 7-5. TSM with a slender lead as we head to the halftime. All to play for heading into the second half. TSM 7-5 to the good. A well-placed pistol and conversion puts them well on the path to victory, but 9 Pandas very much still in the fight. What's the idea, the plan for this second half pistol? A smoke and a Molotov brought up. Straight towards the A site for TSM, no messing around.
Yeah, and not a retake setup with just one player. Instead, Klax is playing very aggressive with these dual Berettas. If he goes down without getting a couple of kills, then they are in trouble. And let's see if they expect it or not. He's giving his position away. He's going to have to pop off right now. And with a little bit of assistance, he's actually able to put in a decent defense. 4-on-3 for the moment. Trades continuing back and forth now, actually just all being swept up by 9 Pandas. Leaving only the late lurk of Valde, who was hoping to catch the rotations later in connector. Instead, he's 1-on-4, and without Kevlar, this is going to be a tough one, already taking damage and gets finished off by Ledez. He's been a little bit quieter here, but he had an amazing second map.
Job's good and done. TSM, it was a nice idea. Just got caught by the jungle presence, I think. Shalfie fast rotate to get in there initially. And then a second rotation to get the bomb denial. No bomb plant either for TSM. We saw 9 Pandas second round of their T side with the bomb plant behind them, able to force nicely. Some serious momentum going instead. TSM, a very different picture. Full eco. Blocks across the board and, well, farming time for the CT side. Diladez wants to be a little careful here and realises it. Looks to let the MP9s do the heavy lifting. And that's the smart play. Disbalance. He'll want that big green in his hands. Try and put to bed some of the problems he had on the T side. Had a fantastic map too, so we'll really be feeling like he can just get back into this on the CT side. Up, straight into it as well. No messing about as the rifles come out for TSM.
This is where we get a real feel for how TSM are going to be on this T side, as you said. All rifles on both sides, bar an MP9 for Klax. Early contact likely to be found here around mid. No, actually, I thought the Ledez was playing a little bit more aggressively in connector. I think just dropped the smoke and decided to fall back off. Watch that short push instead, and well, TSM aren't going to do much with that mid control themselves either. Just leaving the one player, immediately sending everyone back around towards A, and this is with still nearly a minute and a half on the clock. It's very early to be making such a decision. They will be heading towards a heavily stacked A bomb site as well.
9 Pandas just not feeling the pressure at the moment. Not feeling anything in towards mid. Glowing's got no signs at B, so they'll keep the stack on A. Util going to come over the top. Disbalance flashed off his angle, hangs around a little while and hits the freebie onto Zyphon. Now the MP9 looks to activate. Altez is ready for it. And a quick couple of trades actually gives a decent enough position over to the T side. Shalfie does well to react. Catches Valde, and now the problem is for Nico. Very similar to how Valde in the pistol. He's got to work his way into the site where realistically he wanted to be the lurk. Instead, 2-on-3, he's got to start clearing some of these corners. A fight inside of the site. They're trying to deny the plant. It's given Acor half an opening. Glowing goes down. Timing on this from Shalfie should get him a gift, and indeed it does. Acor left, 1v2, needs to isolate these fights, tries to bait Shalfie out into the open, does so, but Disbalance is immediately there to trade it down. CT side keeps on trucking for 9 Pandas. They have the lead at 8-7. It cost them nearly everything. They won't mind that one bit.
No, it still keeps them in a slightly rough position after the rebuy, but even with the bomb plant, TSM themselves are working with at least some weaknesses. I thought they might have actually went for the rifles, but they are taking the safe approach. Because if they went for the force buy and that didn't pay off, 9 Pandas would be heading up to double digits already, so trying to avoid putting themselves in that situation. Pistols and Kevlar alongside a good bit of utility for the straight up A execute. Have a chance at cutting the op off back in the spawn, having the fight solo then against the player here and under.
Klax in a tough spot.
Well done, Molly's, I believe, actually just held them off, and you know, that that can be done. These Tech-9s aren't even getting the close in the distance. That doesn't seem to matter though. Acor long range on the Tech-9 getting it done. He's left alone now, unfortunately, but it's a 1-on-2, which is very winnable with this amount of time on the clock, especially.
Gun in hand. Some decisions to make. Wants to try and isolate the fight. Glowing is giving him no space though. Fades through the smoke. Sketchy round for 9 Pandas. Clack's initially fully blind, getting a kill. Ultex immediately getting a fully blind trade. Just a bit of chaos inside of the site, but that's what TSM were looking for realistically. Those Tech 9s thrive best when everyone's a little bit out of place, running and gunning. Good damage found. Unfortunate not to get the bomb plant down as well. Would have done a fantastic job for the economy. Still able to buy strongly though. And at 9-7, a big swing round starts to come through. Full buy, of course, for the CT side, but limited finances behind it. Kitchen sink for TSM to try and change the picture. Reaction is immediate mid-control from 9 Pandas. Shafi and Glowing. In fact, Dilladez as well, just looking to completely clear out the angles. And, well, TSM have given up shop. Completely closed it down, worked almost entirely back into spawn as they look to set up the A hit. Black's under a lot of pressure here, though.
Yeah, this time in a position where you can at least fall back and try and stay alive for the retake to be played, perhaps. Again, just getting ready to go straight into this execute. There's still multiple mollies. There's a lot of nades on this CT side. They're going to eat so much before they actually get themselves into the fight, as you can see. Damage is done. Round at the very least being covered. Flax needs to put in defense, and he can't do triple. Gets shut down immediately. Zyphon getting pretty much all the work done with a little bit of help from Altex. Already forced the hand of 9 Pandas here. 2-on-5. If they knew the damage, maybe they'd give it a go, but even then, with Shalfie low himself, saving these 2 weapons is what makes the most sense. They don't have the economy on the CT side with the damage that had been consistently done.
I will tell you right now, I can't hear the knock comms from 9 Pandas, but Clax would have been absolutely screaming for a flash there.
Yeah, must have been.
That's what it was. He was sat behind triple, and the flash just never came. He had so much damage down, so many players who would have been full blind. He could have had a field day there, but again, feels like maybe the comms getting a little lost, just not quite getting it in time. And look at the health bars on that TSM side. That's so much damage taken, just nothing converted on from 9 Pandas. Zyphon had a monster round. Acor right up there with him. We knew this one would be close, but it is getting incredibly scrappy here. 9 Pandas, we spoke about how that CT economy wasn't established. This force buy is going to be ugly. Clacks down to the FAMAS. Dilladez the same. Really need the likes of Glowing, Eye Disbalance to show up in a big way in this round, have some serious impact on those power rifles.
Super heavy A presence from 9 Pandas. Expecting maybe another straight up ramp execute, but instead it's one player there, everyone else focused in on mid for TSM. Similar enough to how TSM were playing the CT side themselves, giving it up. Yeah, giving up that mid control, that is.
They've got the Palace presence, which is something to work with. Dilladez in a good spot. They try and flash themselves back in, but Shalfie's burning. He's got no idea. 12 HP. That's going to sting. Wanted to get a bit proactive back into mid, and instead caught in that half gap between smoke and mollies where everything gets a bit confusing. What's the reaction from 9 Pandas? Start to gamble out towards B. I think they want to get proactive with it. Again, they're actually going to boost Shalfie up. Try and put that low HP bar in a position to have as much impact as physically possible. The problem is, TSM once again have just bailed out of that mid control. Started to work their way back towards A. Dilladez spotted out in Palace, has to bail out of that. Eye Disbalance does very well shifting into the angle. Gets at least a pick, and now Dilladez up close on the ramp. It's another dink, but not the conversion. Ultex and Valde with a killer piece. Ultex clearly at home picking up that AWP in a secondary capacity, and again, there is so much damage done, but again, there is just not the men alive to take advantage of it, or is there Glowing? We wanted him to have a big round, and that is a monster triple to buy his team a little bit of space. With 10 seconds on the clock, there is nothing Zyphon can do. Glowing surely knows it at this point. 3 seconds, just get out of there, mate. The HE so close to finishing the job. Playing with fire there, 9 Pandas. They just about get away with it.
That was not necessary. Glowing should have kept that M4 as well. It was way more important than getting the extra kill. He would have been able to have dropped it over to a teammate who definitely isn't going to have an M4 otherwise, because he's the only one who can afford one now. So winning that round could still cost them in the long run if TSM are able to come back swinging now in this one. They know that I haven't actually called another called a tactical timeout here, so bit of a strange one. Relying solely on glowing to pull off that 3k in the end as well is not really something that can consistently be expected. And that A bomb play has just been a problem as well.
Yeah, it has. I do sort of wonder if Glowing was perhaps aware of the possibility of Xiphon diving through jungle and into CT, and therefore stuck in that position initially, but even then should have backed away with the M4 for the save. I mean, look at the buy now. CT side, despite winning the previous round, 2 MP9s, 2 FAMAS, Glowing, the only one on a rifle, and he had to rebuy it. Fair that to TSM, who have got everything they could ever want for Christmas. Glowing trying to be proactive, trying to get that rifle working for him early on. Now looks to send the MP9 in. Nice flashbang. Xiphon in a good position in mid. Will get one back though, and Shalfie, he's only able to go 1-for-1. Nico does have the bomb here, so if he goes down, it's trouble, but instead, it's another monster headshot that leaves Idis Balance in a world of pain. Desperately hiding behind back bench. Flax is trying to shift his way back towards A to cover for the bomb, making its way back over there, but Valde has read that like a book, and now Idis Balance, I mean, yeah, just outmaneuvered by the calling on TSM. They have 9, they have the economy, they have everything swinging back their way at what may well be the critical moment.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the force buy is likely. Considering they're looking at a double eco, you can see they're already going for it. If that doesn't work out, TSM take themselves into the lead, and 9 Pandas at that point, they're staring down a barrel. This is a dangerous spot to be in. TSM should know they're working with the better weaponry as well, so they're going to keep it simple, go in towards the mid control. They have a player on either side to make sure the sights aren't pushed aggressively, and as long as they keep their range and take these duels together, there shouldn't be too much trouble. You never say there's no chance though with the Deagles in play.
Gambled the stack. Taking control of the ramp. Nice idea. The question is, what's the adjustment now that you've realised there's nobody home in that part of the map? This heavy mid presence looking to work its way towards a B split, surely. Indeed, Xiphon. Just clearing his way into the ladder room. No need to rush the situation. Still 1 minute and 5 on the clock. Still plenty of utility to plan out the execute as well, to draw yourselves level at 10 apiece. You do not want to be slipping up in these kind of rounds. A little bit of a cat and mouse game here. 9 Pandas not making any noise, not giving anything over. Any idea that they might be heavily present towards this A site, and as a result, TSM are going to go wandering in here. Nico gets one. Shalfie's timing good for the trade, and Glowing on the Deagle for more. Acor isolated, does fantastically well to quick scope up Shalfie, and that may well have just rescued the round now. Dilladez alone, 1v3, catches one in transition. Acor is low, but he's able to finish the job, and what was a little sketchy, saved by the heroics of Acor on that AWP. 1 HP as he finishes the job.
That was the chance for 9 Pandas, and as you said, Acor gets it done. 9 Pandas now have to take an eco finally. TSM maybe not loving how they managed to make the win happen, so they do call in a pause either way. They should be heading up towards 11. Even potentially only 1 gun round for 9 Pandas to challenge them. Acor overall has had some really good moments. Played well on Inferno as well. Xiphon, recall how he played. I think he was a bit quieter on both previous maps, but definitely showing really up now.
Coming.
Yeah, there's not even any pistols really being purchased up. That is a P250, I believe, for Idis Balance, but other than that, 0 investment.
Can't really afford much more than that.
Glow and drop that P250 to Idis Balance and stay on a USB himself. Strange.
Looks like it. Fair enough, mate. Ultimate commitment. And well, the ultimate commitment from 9 Pandas has gone the wrong way, unfortunately. Stack over towards B. I mean, you got to try something a little different when you got the pistols in hand. You got to try and hope that maybe you catch a timing, maybe you catch an execute into the site you full stacked, but instead TSM are going to walk in unopposed to A. Should be a free plant, and at that point, should just be about the exits for these pistols. imagine we'll see too much of a hunt here. I mean, Zyphon is wandering into a flashbang here. Valde, he's able to back his mate up without too many problems. So just the one kill goes down. Valde down to 3 HP, but he finishes the job regardless. TSM have their 11th, and this is it. 9 Pandas do or die time.
Yeah, no op available, limited utility. I don't even think they're going to have a kit. Yeah, they don't. This is not the sort of buy you want when it's pretty much last chances. A little bit of typing in chat. I thought that might have been another pause being called, but not quite. Instead, we are continuing on right into the action. What's the play from 9 Pandas? Yeah, looked like they were sending 2 towards window, so they are going to go for a little bit of mid aggression. Not actually catching anyone this time around. Instead, TSM are heavy towards the ramp, and you can see even Klax, who was in the CT spawn, has fallen back.
Yeah, what's the read
incredibly
here?
Passive.
9 Pandas have got to make a call. They'll leave Dilladez posted top mid. Can they stop anything coming out of A? Klax misses the initial man crossing, transitioning towards jungle. That'll lock out the rotations from the mid play. iDisbalance in a dangerous spot here. It's a game of timings, and Zyphon has found Klax in towards CT. Dilladez gets one. Nico takes the dink, spits the bullet out, kills iDisbalance anyway. 3 on 4. They know it's a low HP bar. Dilladez will just wander in, spraying to find it, and they've got to give this a go now. The bomb already ticking. No flashbang for glowing into CT. Oltex should be perfectly placed to finish that. And Dilladez and Shalfie will try and work their way in through jungle. Oltex gets his kills. Zyphon in with another monster to take his tally to 23. And this round is gone. Shalfie has to try and bail out, has to try and escape, but it's TSM with 2 series points.
And even escaping with the weapon doesn't look like much of a certainty right now. Acor hunting it, drops him with the op. Will go down to the bomb though, so at the very least the op isn't carried forward, but they have so much money it really won't matter. They can buy back up and they can look to put an end to this here and now, with the economy of 9 Pandas just barely hovering around 3,000 on pretty much everyone. So they'll get a little bit, they'll get some SMGs, maybe some FAMASs if they really want, but again, it's going to be heavily limited, and TSM have 2 chances to put an end to this.
It's been a really beautiful Mirage from them. Zyphon's played out of his skin. Acor's found a real new level. Just doing the simple things right on TSM. It's not been much more complicated than that, but after a tough second map, to lose it in the way they did, we said, you know, they looked like if maybe they were 5% warmer, if they had a little bit more to go on, could have been a different picture. The bounce back into this, and the T side calling in this as well, really been excellent. Kept 9 Pandas on the ropes, and they are well on the ropes here. 2 MP9s, a FAMAS, a Scout, and a lonely M4 for Dilladez. Just lacking the firepower a little bit, 9 Pandas. Nobody showing up, taking the game by the scruff of the neck, and that's what they desperately need here. Gone for the standard, 2 towards B, 3 on A, nobody in mid. Completely conceding that portion of the map. It's not gone well for them trying to take it. TSM happy to slow play this one.
Yeah, they know that it's 9 Pandas who are feeling all of the pressure right now. To see if 9 Pandas are going to make that first move, as they themselves instead just slowly inch forward for taking control. They're going to get a player in connector. They could have someone up on short as well. You can see already that towards both of these bomb sites, they're a little bit worried about what's going on mid. A little bit of damage being dealt out by the scout from iDisbalance is not a terrible start here, especially with the weaker weapons in play. Follow-up shot onto Altex, but the kills initially going the way of TSM, but so much damage has been done.
This is getting really tough now. Dilladez on 9 HP inside of the site. Klax stuck in sandwich on that MP9. Nothing he can do. Surely nothing for Dilladez here either, and indeed there isn't. Glowing and Shalfie, I mean, there's damage on the board, but how much can they realistically expect to capitalize in a 2-on-5? Trying to fake the smoke. There's one. Shalfie trying to be the hero here. A quick double on the FAMAS has made it feel a little bit more viable with an MP9 in the hands of Glowing. Acor is on a long old flank, but he's well positioned for the afterplant now. Posted in towards jungle as Glowing knows he has to be up close and personal. There's another, and the low HP bar of Oltex. It's all Acor now. 1v2 on the AWP. Shalfie looking to stick it out. How much longer will he be given? Acor hits one. That drags Shalfie off the bomb, and Acor hits the second as well. The AWP deservedly finishing the job. 21-9 at the death. Some huge series from individuals there. Acor and Zyphon really showing up in a major way on map 3. I mean, we said it, Dean, it's Mirage. Anyone can play it. Somebody just needs to show up and take it by the scruff of the neck, and TSM did in a major way.
Yeah, helping prove us both wrong. We had
Major way, map 1, and now an opportunity to pull off what would certainly be an upset as they head to the CT side of Dust 2 to start things off on the map pick of 9 Pandas. Pistol round. You don't want to overemphasize its importance, but the ability to get a good early run on a map like Dust 2 can be huge. And Acor, well, he's going to be a little bit isolated here. The timing of this is going to be critical. He's strafing his way around the corners, does very well to stay alive at all. Drops down into CT to try and give himself a headshot angle. There's plenty of presence here, but Dilladez, he's decided he's having none of that previous map, ripping off heads as from long glowing finds a double of his own. And this is the 9 Pandas we expected to see, Dean.
Yeah, I was going to say the pistol rounds, both of them certainly helped TSM out on that previous map. 9 Pandas in the first half were eventually able to put a stop, of course, to the momentum that had been built off the back of it, but in the second half they never really did. So to finally go ahead and pick one up here, it is a fantastic start. The question is now, what way did TSM approach the following rounds? 9 Pandas were very aggressive about it on both of the halves, just buying straight into it and hoping to be able to get a little bit of nearly kickstart themselves despite the weaker weapons. That's not the approach TSM are taking. They're happy to go ahead and take a full eco, but they are playing incredibly aggressive here. 5-man stack on mid with the USPs. They might have a chance of catching one. Idis Balance though, jump peeking. They're playing pretty passive. They're watching from long as well. It doesn't look like it's going to pan out all too well for them.
It's a nice idea at least. You've got to try something a little different. Here we go, Util into mid. The flashback was really nice there. I mean, they get one. You know what? 5 USPs, you get a kill. Why not? Take it. It is only the Mac 10, unfortunately, so it won't be anything of any consequence for 9 Pandas, but they get the round out of the way, and now TSM have got some decisions to make. What does this first buy look like? Not going to be able to get that AWP out in this occasion. Acor not with the finances, and nobody really able to drop in, so it'll be rifles almost across the board, and what do you want to do with it? Knowing it's a very strong buy from the 9 Pandas, heavy util, heavy firepower. How do you want to try and place yourself? Zyphon catching a bit of a peek onto Dilladez, tapping away, able to find the conversion, and that's a perfect opening for TSM. Able to sneak Valde into pit as well, as 9 Pandas not really putting up any kind of a contest towards long, although glowing with a lovely little pick in towards the B bomb site has just changed the picture of this round in an instant.
With a decent position at the very least. Flashed a couple of times. Does just about catch blowing over the smoke. Deals out some damage and gets the finish on the Shelfie, who unfortunately gave his position away when he rattled off those few bullets. Idis Balance now forced to try and just get the bomb plant out of this, and well, it's fairly likely the plant is safe for short. Might even take this fight to get the 1 kill before going for the bomb plant, hoping with of course the round victory in mind. Unfortunately, he's not able to actually overcome that first hurdle. Does immediately get shut down by Valde. Yeah, TSM, I mean, they come alive in a very crucial round, and Zyphon obviously taking a massive risk with that initial peek in towards mid, but TSM showed that they were willing to take risks in the second round as well when they went for that 5-man stack in on mid. So 9 Pandas maybe caught off guard a little bit by it, but is that a reliable way to go ahead and win these rounds is the question. They're still working with the full rifles now.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it didn't feel like they did anything particularly special, right?
Yeah.
Settled into a default. Glowing did well to get a pick over towards B, but Zyphon very quick on the rotation and then places himself nicely. I mean, 9 Pandas, you can make the argument, didn't quite clear out that site cleanly, but perhaps not expecting Zyphon to be there so swiftly, given he was the mid-rotate and they'd seen him fairly early on in the round on the left-hand side of those doors. So a nice little read from Zyphon, picks up the round and puts 9 Pandas in a really rough spot financially, actually. They're going to be able to buy into this one. A couple of AKs, but it's flanked by Deagles. Shelfie thinking about it for a while. They do actually manage to skim a third AK. At one point, there was a scout out there, but they've managed to shuffle the finances around and get 3 AKs in hand. So definitely some potential in this round, and it's the kind of one where if you can win it cleanly, if you can get some damage on the board, you could change the complexion of the half. Heavy presence towards the B-bomb site early on. The AK's looking to have impact, but it's Zyphon and Altex instead, a killer piece. Locking out that opening aggression, and now this round starts to look incredibly meek very early on.
It's not the start 9 Pandas were hoping for, but already
You could change the complexion of the half. Heavy presence towards the B-bomb site early on. The AK's looking to have impact, but it's Zyphon and Altex instead. A killer piece. Locking out that opening aggression, and now this round starts to look incredibly meek very early on.
It's not the start 9 Pandas we're hoping for, but already weaknesses to Dubai as well, on top of now a 2-man disadvantage. TSM playing things pretty passively though, and they are really split up, not in positions to get those trades off of each other, so a couple individual players stepping up here for 9 Pandas is definitely enough for them to crack their way into one of these bomb sites. Looks like A might be the goal. We've got Valda deep down on long. Nico taking the initial line of defense. He drops immediately. Acorn now coming up from the CT spawn. What can he say about it? Mollied out of position, which actually doesn't make it an easy talk at all. And well, with another kill from Shalfie, suddenly it's a 3-on-3. The bomb's about to be planted, and well, despite the health being rough for 9 Pandas, this is still a much better position than they had a moment ago, and they continue to get these trades.
Dillard's going huge on the Deagle here. Smoke doesn't pop, and it just gives the game away beautifully. iDisbalance and Dillard's combine a monstrous triple. Dillard's with 2 1-deags on the way in. And 9 Pandas a round out of absolutely nothing. I mean, we said it, right? If you can get that round on the board when you're buying in these awkward positions, you put that CT side just completely on its back. Considering they lost 2 AKs in the opening engagement, to do that in the way they did, a 3-on-5, I mean, there was isolated 1v1s, as you said, but beautifully taken by Dillard's on the Deagle. TSM fluffing their lines. They had the opportunity. They've given it away slightly. We'll be buying into this one regardless. 3 MP9s, couple of M4s, looking to hope that maybe they can have similar impact to their opposition in the previous.
Not loving the investment at all, though. Guilty on top of multiple MP9s. Let's see what they can do. iDisbalance is still going to scout at the very least. It doesn't have an op to work with, nor an AK, which I think would have been preferable.
Considering how much he was struggling with the AWP on Inferno, I think certainly. Problem is for the CT side, you can't gamble your resources as aggressively as the T side can. I mean, we saw 3 AKs leaning towards B upper at the start of last round, just gambling the heavy firepower and hoping to get a pick somewhere. This time, one of the M4s at least has to lurk over towards B. That's Zyphon. Have kept a heavy-handed stack towards A for the time being, though, as the util starts to go over the top. Acor in a good position to have impact. Dinks up iDisbalance early. Altex mollied, but not mollied out quite as far as you'd think. The pop flash comes in. The util over the top is trying to buy a bit of space. And Valde flying through the air with Nico mops up the kills on the MP9. I mean, it was just an absolute slaughter as they look to work their way out short. TSM drew them in, and then the counter util from the CT side was magnificent.
Yeah, managing to steal it away. Apologies, I was actually closing my window right because it was getting a little bit loud with kids screaming.
9 Pandas are going to be screaming in a minute. They just can't get control of this one.
Yeah, tantrum time. They do it a bit of an
Pistols
outburst though
out.
with the weaker weapons. They're going to need iDisbalance to step up, especially. You've got Quacks on the Scout and then iDisbalance on the AK. Strange one. Both struggling as well, individually so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure those are the players I'd be putting on them. I mean, to be fair, Dillard's on the Deagle pretty much single-handedly won you the last round, so why not put him on it again, see if he can have the same impact. Acor just spotted there. Yeah, he's aware of it as well.
Yeah.
Just trying to buy time, I think, holding the angle as long as he can, but they're going to charge on up here, and it's going to be on Acor to get this shot. It's a tough angle to hold on to, and he can't do it. Now Valde inside of the site looking a little bit lonely. Needs Nico to back him up here, and he goes down to Dillard's Deagle yet again. Shalfie trying to trade on in, and it's the P250 with the impact. They're going to do it again, 9 Pandas. Surely not. A 2-on-3 after plant. They can get up short boxes quickly here. Zyphon looks to do exactly that, but his teammate's gone down, and he's all alone. A 1v3 spotted out shortly by the jump over the top of the smoke. Manages to get the early kill. No ammo left in that M4 though, and it's Clacks on the clock to finish the job. Neither of these teams can wrestle control of their rifle buys.
Oh, that one was painful right there. It looked like Valda, I believe it was back on the A-bomb site, had the nade ready to go as soon as Acor was going to drop down. once he heard the steps coming in on short, but it just never got thrown for some reason. He even had it in his hands initially when we were looking at him. Then we watch Acor, we see him drop down, and no nade ever goes in. That would have weakened them up. That would have made that defense just a little bit easier. Instead, they get overrun, and their lifeline again is just completely taken away from them. There's very rough economy that can maybe afford a couple pistols and a couple players, but then you've still got two who are looking at the double eco in both Nico and Valda. So I think you just go ahead and buy either way.
Yeah. Acor's having a nightmare on that short angle. It's such a tough one to hit with those heads running past, pistols running at full pelt, just spraying and praying. Feel like he would have maybe done better just playing back to the ramp, using the util as we saw Valde do in the previous, flashing to enable your teammates. Roll towards long is the call from 9 Pandas. TSM want none of it. Settled back inside of the site, opting to take short with Nico instead. Siphon, the only one with firepower really in this one, using that M4 in towards mid. Saw him get a pick a few rounds ago, hoping perhaps that he could do the same here. And once again, I mean, it's a decent call. The stack is here. Nico has done a fantastic job of picking off mid-lurk of Clax. And there is firepower in the right place to have impact, but as they creep up here, I don't think the T-side are expected to be as close as they are. Valde, up close and personal. Zyphon flashed off, does very well to even get one before he's traded, but that rifle is now out in no man's land, and Acor, with a missed shot on the scout, has allowed them into the site. Valde playing close to the smoke in CT now, as Nico's still on that flank, but it's expected and dealt with. High disbalance with a swift headshot, and at this point, 3-on-3. The firepower heavily favouring the T side here. Altec's going to try and boost up, but Shalfie has read it every day of the week, and that is more like it from 9 Pandas.
Yeah, completely shutting it down now. It should finally be the full eco. 9 Pandas are going to have a 6-2 lead here already on the T side of Dust 2. This is a worrying position for TSM to be in. Got a very puggy map pool. This is the puggiest map pool I've had in a long time.
It's playing like that as well.
Yeah.
I do start to wonder if maybe that inexperience from TSM showing through. A couple of rounds they should have really put to bed. Should honestly be level, if not ahead.
Okay. He's ready.
Pistols in this one. Try something a little cheeky, perhaps. Siphon toying with that peek into mid, but high disbalances AWP will not be fed just yet. And to be fair, they're bleeding out a decent little chunk of util from this T side just by playing passively, waiting in their angles. 9 Pandas won't want to make any mistake in this one. We'll want it to be as clean as physically possible. Haven't done a great job of building up the economy so far, given the back and forth nature of the affair. So this one needs to be good. And while Dilladez starts as he means to go on, been flying so far on Dust 2. Definitely the Pug Master himself. As he looks to continue his reign of terror. And indeed does exactly that. Altex, close angle. Nice idea. Glowing's got your number though. He's seen it. Been there before. Trades it out on this occasion. 6-2 up. TSM in need of a little bit of a comeback here towards the death of this first half, because 9 Pandas are a fairly evenly split team, CTT side on Dust 2, so can't exactly rely on their second half being any worse than their first.
Definitely not. I would love the pause to come in right now for TSM. They've got Acor again, glass cannon open. Never ideal, but I do think they need the weapon in play right now. Not to say that IDIS Balances one has been a massive presence on the server. It's been kind of chilling. Got the Ledes leading the charge. Glowing doing a pretty good job as well. Neither of those are the ones to try and take that initial fight though over towards Long. That was Clax and he got shut down. Did deal out some damage onto Nico, but a man advantage early on here for TSM is exactly what they need. Unfortunately, they've put up so much map control in the meantime. Shalfie just probed his way straight out mid. Catches Nico off guard. Now Acor's attention's pulled in towards mid, and in the meantime 9 Pandas are only just now, I believe, making a bit of a decision about what they want to do, and that's to go take that short control, see what they can do about potentially any long aggression, because Shalfie does look prepared for this.
They've got the B site completely locked out here. They know there's two inside of the site itself. If Shalfie can clear out Valde, this becomes very ugly, but the shadow advantage is there. Last bullet, Valde will get it done, and now Acor, you've had this angle with an M4, this time with an AWP. He gets the job done. Wants a flashback in, doesn't quite come through. Instead, Molotov onto the site, denies the short plant for the time being. 2-on-4 after plant feels very viable for the CT side. It's going to be IDIS Balance trying to change the picture. Nice leg shot on the AWP, but Valde, swift as you like. Acor combines beautifully, and that is the round. clean stuff from TSM. I mean, you do feel a little bad for Clax in that initial fight. Very much a 50-50. Both players blinded up. Just Valde able to swing in and provide the support, but a much better choice in terms of playing that A site there from Acor, playing back of Car, giving himself a much more favourable angle, especially with the AWP now in hand. Valde there to provide the assist. Lovely stuff from TSM, and, well, the buys will keep on coming from 9 Pandas, but I'm sure that'll give the CT side a bit of confidence.
Crack through in this one, and although 9 Pandas can scrape something together in the next round, they will finally be running on fumes at the very least, and at that point TSM have a shot at potentially still turning things into a 6-6 scoreline. Wouldn't be terrible.
Need to get through this one, though. And a fast-paced play. There we go. We'll get there eventually from 9 Pandas. Looking to take tunnels control early. Oltex, secondary AWPing duties towards that B site. Legs up the second man, but not able to convert. Traded down. And that B bomb site, again, becomes very vulnerable. Zyphon playing in and around the doors. There's a lurk smoke to get the T side out, and they're going to go with it as well. Dilladez sets himself into the angle, takes the bullet on the chin. Clean headshot onto Zyphon. And this CT side want nothing to do with it. This was the round they needed to break that T side economy down, to start pushing them into those awkward half-buy situations. And instead, it's going to be a 4-man save for 9 Pandas, a 7th round on the board, and the CT side just in tatters.
Yeah, at the very least we'll save all the weapons forward. I don't think we'll really see 9 Pandas committing anything to a hunt. But even then, Acor maybe drops a weapon. Other than that, you're still going to have likely an SMG, maybe a pistol to play, limited utility, and chance for 9 Pandas to run away with the rest of this half. This final couple of rounds, potentially. This is worst case scenario for TSM. Mirage is another map where the individual skill really can take 9 Pandas over the top if we get to that point, so TSM would much rather turn it around now.
Tough buy with Altex going for the secondary AWP last round. You can see his util slim. Lacking head armor. Gets dropped some nades across by the team to try and make it a slightly more viable buy, but it's going to be a scrap towards long again. Shalfie and Glowing this time sending their way out. The flashes are good. The adjustment from Nico not quite there, and Shalfie just wrecking balls his way out long. We've not really seen that from 9 Pandas yet, and they pull it out at the perfect moment. This round's done. Zyphon will try and maybe get a bit of a flank on through long, but 3 on 5, no A site control, 1 defuse kit, limited util. It's just a matter of crossing your I's and dotting your T's if you're 9 Pandas, getting it done cleanly. That's exactly what they're going to do. Cross smoke gives them the cross clean enough. Secondary smoke goes down to make sure the first won't just spontaneously disappear on them. Execute goes in. Molotovs to lock out the angles. The Gandalf molly's a little awkward, but they get it done regardless. For Zyphon, Altex, and Acor, they have to save for last. There's no way they're getting into this one, and they've not got the economy to buy to the next if they throw the guns away.
Yeah, but still, it's not an easy save to have to sit with. You just keep on giving these rounds away without really feeling like they're having any chance to fight for them in the first
Not
place.
an easy save for me to watch either.
No.
It's got to be one of the quickest rounds I've ever seen.
Good if there was just like a skip watching the save, you know?
Where's the skip ads button for
exactly.
saves on CS?
We could take like 70% of the game out. It really would.
Just give me Subway Surfers in the top corner instead. Something to occupy myself, man. They're going to try and hunt these rifles, though. Just about able to hold on to it. 8-3.
Acor and Altex both having rough games. Altex kind of popped off and brought TSM back to life on that previous map, and Acor obviously was playing a tremendous second half in general. So 2 important players that haven't really shown up quite yet.
Dilladez has gone nuclear as well, which hasn't helped things. 15 and 6. Let's see if maybe TSM can pull a little something back here. Could do with this, could do with a pistol to follow it, but the round's got to come first. Double nade into long, and that's more like it. Nico and Valde combining again. Clean entry found. Should be a recoverable rifle as well. A deep CT smoke goes in, and Nico, yeah, grabs himself the secondary AWP. Acor, what are you doing, lad? Wandering into the doors angle, and he's left Zyphon in no man's land here. Dilladez able to deal with him, and suddenly, again, this round turns on its head. Just a couple of half mistakes. 9 Pandas able to punish brutally. Altex, Nico, and Valde left, and Valde, well, thinks about making the play, thinks about going through that smoke. Xiaofi is very aware of the possibility, just sitting inside of it himself, as now he looks to phase it through, and the timing could not have been worse. Altex not even able to capitalize on the slight overstrafe as Xiaofi continues to decimate it. The B site's taken. And Nico, well, he had an MP9 at the start of the round. His HE found the opening kill of the round. And now he's got to try and find a 1v4. Never going to be. It's 9-3. 9 Pandas heading into the half on a high. A dominant first half from 9 Pandas, and they'll want to get through this one cleanly now. Set the momentum right as they head towards a much more hotly contested Mirage. Let's see if TSM can maybe throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, though, as they go straight out long. There's a fast cross smoke coming as well. Clax is going to have to give this one up pretty much entirely, and there's no kit either on this CT side. Not going to be the easiest retake in the world. Trying to pop the smoke with a HE. Nothing coming from it as the fight at range just not quite connecting for the USPs in the opening moments.
Bomb to go down. Question is, how much do we really want to see this CT side taking the ranged fights? Idis Balance traded 1-for-1. Well traded by Zyphon as Oltex, and then Valde combined beautifully, and Shalfie just in no man's land. Nothing to do. TSM, they were never going to go quietly here on map 2, and that pistol is a barnstormer of a start.
Yeah, it's still a very long road ahead of them, but that is exactly what they needed. We seen them come alive on both pistol rounds on Inferno, and they were able to utilize that momentum incredibly well. And, well, if they can get the momentum here now, if they can shut down the Ledez especially, who's been almost single-handedly a thorn in their side with a bit of help from Shelfie, then you could still see things spiral out of control here on the CT side for 9 Pandas.
Yeah, CT economy is a tough one. It's not a done deal just yet. Full eco into this one, though.
Like the
Much
short
the same as the start. TSM just setting themselves into the long control. Yeah, it's a nice idea. It's fairly similar to that mid stack we saw right in the previous CT eco. Just put all your players somewhere, hope you get hit, and see if maybe you can get something going. Problem is, the Mac 10 of Zyphon is going up long on his own here, and he should, at some point fairly shortly, start to smell a rat. There's the opening kill, there's the peak, and yeah, he should work this one out now. Nice flashbang in, though, and there's players with nades out all over the shop here, well recovered. Gotta say it, Valde probably shouldn't have gone down there, but with a nade in hand, nothing he can do. They do manage to mop up the remaining kills, but a couple from 9 Pandas, no worries.
Yeah, this is where we really get an idea for how this half might play out now. It could be some weaker weapons. Galil given over to Akar. Zyphon should go straight onto an AK, I'd imagine. No? What's Akar's plan? Going to take a weapon at all? There we go, we can buy his own AK. So we're getting an AK and a Galil either way they went about it. Very quick long control taken, and well with the flashes, clacks and glowing, we're just hugging along. Caught in the open. Nico overpowers them as well. TSM are charging through this defense. I mean, this may as well have been another eco.
Yeah, that round's done. Oh, it's a little awkward from Zyphon in towards mid. Dilladas has dealt with Akor on the cross, but that's going to be all he gets. Voltex having another one of those rounds where he just single-handedly takes control of the server. Nice util to support it as well. Straight out long. I think 9 Pandas thought that those Molotovs had bought them a little more space than they had, Dean. They got punished brutally for it. 9-6. I mean, TSM, half by to follow. They're not out of this one just yet.
No, I wouldn't start celebrating, but if I was 9 Pandas, I'd start to think, okay, this could still get out of control, guys. Let's make sure now coming into this next gun round, we really start to get our stuff together. Again, the quick mountain control goal. This time taking a ton of nade damage, and the pistols a small bit as well, taking 1 kill at least. A solid trade in on the one corner. The problem is now Valdes Molly forces it forward, and there was nowhere for Idis Balance to fall back to there.
Good damage at the very least. I mean, Shafi's got a bit of a flank on here as well. Should have a freebie. Timing of it's going to be everything. And yep, there's Zyphon with a nade out to give him that freebie. Molotov will trap him in. At least for the time being, because that bomb looks to go down. But I mean, this was a half buy. Already 3 kills to the good. And you can see TSM burning the last of their util as well. They do not want to fall off of this one. So not a bad result at all from 9 Pandas. Could have forced some fairly heavy reinvestment from this T side as well. So a big opportunity at 9-7, as they will certainly be buying on the CT side to maybe put a serious dent in TSM's comeback hopes. This one, though, just going to fall on by. Imagine Shalfie will just lurk around this short angle, hope that maybe Zyphon's gun gets blown with the bomb into a position where he can get something from it. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, he's going to have a little lurk towards short, and there we go. He'll wander back in. See if there's anything close. Indeed, it's not quite made it far enough for him to be able to grab anything. So all on as even at 9-7, and things start to get interesting now. TSM so far pretty much single-handedly abusing long control. Not really seen any different setup from their T side just yet. Will this be the round they look to twist? Or is it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Well, speaking of, the economy is pretty decent for TSM, but it's not amazing. A couple rounds in a row from 9 Pandas could completely break them, and a fantastic start with the pick from Idis Balance is the way that they want to go about it. I think now Altex early on. Akar trying to probe around B with his own up. Unfortunately, nothing really arises. The smoke instead goes down, and well, with a man advantage so early on, 9 Pandas are happy to kind of sit back and relax for the moment, wait and see what TSM have in mind.
Yeah, really well set. Nice way to set the mood for the round. That from iDisbalance. Big pick. Shuts down the initial idea. TSM have worked their way into that mid control, though. Fairly standard default on Dust 2. 3 players now starting to go for a prod up short. But again, CT side are well placed to receive this. 3 players inside of the site or close to it. Blowing with that new box, able to fast rotate into a position on short. Or provide his balance towards the car as well. Glowing just caught in transition though, and now it starts to get a little awkward. Zyphod toying with the idea of these smokes. iDisbalance is still on the angle for now. Flashed off and a beautiful recovery shot. Deals with Zyphod, and now you can see TSM are worried about it. They know there's an AWP on this angle somewhere, and they've got nothing left to clear him out with. They have to take this peak dry, and instead it's the flash from Dilladez that enables iDisbalance to go nuclear. That AWP finally showing up to the party. Nika will do what he can and manages to find a double, which suddenly changes the complexion of this one. Spots both players as well. He's got all the information he could want, but he's going to go for the bomb plant. Taps it initially. Doesn't know that Clax has snuck up on him, and he will get the kill. Double digits for 9 Pandas. And finally, their CT side rifles come in with a round.
Did he maybe not spot the player on the long corner?
I would have thought he did. I mean, it felt like maybe he expected Clax to fall back off it, which is fair enough.
Yeah, still though, should have been at least slightly cautious of the ramp. He seemed to be fully focused on the jump up, hoping that someone would go for it maybe at the same time as the peak, but either way, he left himself completely open. It was a strange one, but it's not the end of the world for TSM. They do spend pretty much all of their economy into this round, unfortunately, so they need to go ahead and win it in return now. Otherwise, I think their chances are going to be running out, unfortunately, as Acor gets the trade on long. Jumps into the molly, willing to take the fight on the second, and that catches Clax understandably off guard.
Long has been what's worked for them, and they're going to go for it again. This time, though, Shalfie on the fast flank has come good. 3 on 3. Dilladez, the timing on this is everything. There's so many angles to worry about, and he just picks the wrong one to hold on to. Valde with the kill. iDisbalance is available on short. The smoke going to go down. A missed shot is just half a peak given up, and that's the round. CT economy just isn't there again to contest it, and this is the problem with Dust 2. We spoke about it as we started this second half. Once things start to spiral, it can be very, very difficult to stop the spin and to really grab control of things. And isolated rounds for the CT side is not the way to do it. 8 on the board for TSM. iDisbalance and Shalfie will be desperate to try and hold on to their rifles here. And you've got to imagine TSM aren't going to hunt too hard either. Just 3 players alive. Not a lot of money left in the bank either. They'll want to keep their economy going in the right direction too.
It's not a for either side, but obviously TSM are going to be driving a little bit more with this round win now. 9 Pandas, they'll be tempted by the 2 weapons being saved forward to go for the force buy, and I mean, fair enough, they'll just about manage the rifle, maybe 1 weaker weapon in play. But if they lose that round, at that point then TSM do definitely tie the scoreline up at 10-10. Almost certainly.
This is starting to turn into one of those horrible games of chicken, because the only thing that has worked for TSM, and it has worked every time, is the long hit, right?
Yeah.
They've just barreled out long. Every successful round has been barrel out long. So Shalfie, you know, we speak about the new in-game leader and the decision making, has got to make a call here. Do you say, right, they're going to barrel out long, so we're going to send 3-4 players long with util and really look to shut it down at source? Or do you say they've kept barreling out long, they're going to change it at some point, we've got to play for the change up? And these are the kind of decisions that could make or break a half. I mean, this one's a half by around the 2 saved rifles, and what's the call from the T side is the question. Acor peering down mid in the opening seconds. Just a little bit of a passive start. TSM aware of the financials of the situation, aware that there likely is a half buy around these saved weapons. And well, they're going to try and enable these saved weapons to get something done here. Shalfie wandering in. He's going to use Dilladez as the bait. And maybe the M4A1 becomes the switch.
Timing on this could be everything. There's the flash to get them in. They're spotted, but not dealt with. Dilladez, lovely shot on the 5-7. Zyphon knows this trade is critical, knows he needs to get it, and Valde swings in to confirm. Glowing, now desperate to recover the rifle, and is able to do so. Keeps that man advantage for the T side, but the firepower at the very least is recovered. iDisbalance still yet to show his hand on the AWP as well. Makes this one a little awkward. Smoke towards the B doors, just hoping maybe to draw something out in the 3-on-3 as... Well, a kill towards mid has really swung this one in anyone's favour. Clax on the Deagle. In towards the mid doors, a rifle towards either site. And TSM aware that this round has to go their way. Knowing that this one was the save, this was the bits and bobs charity shot buy. They can't afford to lose to this with the full rifle buy coming next regardless. Max self-boosts onto short, wants to get this backstab moving quickly. Timing on this, the footsteps surely going to be heard here, and indeed, but it's iDisbalance in towards CT, looking for the timing shot, can't find it. Glowing in trouble now inside of that B-bomb site. 3 players coming at him, manages to isolate one, can't find the second, and that's the B-bomb site as Nico catches the rotation of Clax. And iDisbalance, he's just got to stay alive, there's no time. The clock has done it for 9 Pandas, and the half buy will work.
I mean, to lose it on time is just worst case scenario here for TSM. They barely have the economy to scrape together a buy now as well. Nico can drop one, thankfully, but they're still going to have one weaker weapon in play. Actually, no, I think they might be okay. Almost dropped the Valda. Acor can just about buy for himself, but instead of working their way towards a 10-10 scoreline off of the back of what should have been an easy round here and now, they're fighting to keep themselves alive. Back towards long. No, it's not going to be the play this time around. Instead, looks like it's more likely a fairly standard default. Go through the lower tunnels, maybe get that short control in a while. They're still heavy in the tunnels for now, but slowly working their way down into lower. A couple of players towards top mid as well to likely allow them to move down towards short pretty soon.
Oh, look at this buy from 9 Pandas. Shalfie picks up secondary orb. They are punishing in a major way here. I mean, it wasn't even on my radar that time would be an issue. TSM, big misstep, and now in trouble, under pressure. Glowing, edge of the smoke, able to find one. They want this mid-B split. Acor does very well amongst the flashes to find even a kill. And they look to bail out, they look to reset. The CTs were beautifully ready to receive that B split, so a good choice made. Question is, what can they do to double back? They've really not got any util here. 1 Molotov, 1 smoke. And it feels to me like they're more waiting for a CT mistake than looking to enable themselves to get into an angle here. iDisbalance on the long corner again. We've seen him have huge rounds from that position. And TSM this time have got absolutely no util to flush him out. 35 seconds on the clock. They need a pick. Max maybe the one to give it. Close to the doors. There's the kill. Shalfie now on that secondary AWP. Does well to adjust. Gets the refrag. And iDisbalance under pressure again. But here he has been so dominant. That AWP has continued to sing. And well, he catches vision of Zyphon. But this round is good and gone. A 1v3 with 15 seconds on the clock. There's no way he can possibly stitch this one together. Too many rifles, too many crosshairs. Shalfie's secondary AWP rings out again, and it's 9 Pandas looking to take us the distance.
Very quickly, we're moving towards Mirage right now. TSM aren't going to have much at all to work with. Zyphon has an AK other than that. Maybe 1 Galil and Acor and then some pistols elsewhere. And well, at the very least, we might see a quick approach to the round, but whether TSM can pull it off 4 rounds in a row on the T side to get an overtime, it is definitely achievable, especially with the economy still being pretty weak here for 9 Pandas, but this buy is just abysmal.
Very ugly one, and you can see it reflected in how they're going to play it out. All 5 players upper tunnels. Death ball is the call. There's a great position here to continue what has been a fantastic map for him. 21 and 12. He's been absolutely everywhere. He's going to be right in prime position as the B hit comes through. There's the pot flash glowing in support, but it's Dilladez who gets the opener. Zyphon at least able to trade 1 for 1, and the smoke should enable that bomb to go down. It's a slightly ugly one. They want to go through the smoke. They want to try and isolate these fights. And Shelby indeed he has. Gets one out of nowhere. iDisbalance there to back him up, and this one's a goner. 9 Pandas on their map pick of dust too. A little shaky at times,